Sorry. I could probably sing the entire soundtrack.
I mean, probably. We tend to do that with everything.
I think the soundtrack is like on Spotify. It's like gotta be, right?
I'm looking it up. It's happening.
It's
You can't say
ladies and
that
gentlemen,
and
this is
then not ask
happening.
that. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes, it is.
Well, I know what I'll be listening to later because I'm gonna have it in my damned head.
This one says player select.
Oh, that's a good one. Right?
Yeah.
Damn it, right.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, this is great. This is great music.
I feel like if you
think I'm
played
gonna
this
listen
in
to
a
this now.
club, if you played this in a club today, people would be like, "Oh, fuck yeah!" They'd start fighting each other.
I like the idea of that. I like the idea. Well, I don't like the idea of people fighting each other, but I like the idea of old game music being put into clubs for dancing. Sounds fun. Then I'd actually go to a club. I don't go to clubs. I never have.
That's because you're old.
I never did, though.
Just have a bunch of old people at the club. In theory, that should happen, right? There should be people that enjoyed going to the club when they were young and still like going to it when they're old.
I would assume.
How come there wasn't a club level in this game?
It's a good point.
Like, that
There's a
would've been an
bar, but
interesting-
there isn't like
Yeah.
a club.
That'd have been a good stage, like them fighting through a club, because
And,
then
like,
there'd be
the
like guys
lights,
everywhere and like
the
running around, and
colors.
yeah.
I could see that. I feel like it would end up looking like a strip club though, because you'd have dancers in like the back, and then it would look a little awkward.
Is there a problem with that?
No, because I feel like that would also fit, but still, maybe that's what they were trying
100%.
to avoid.
Mr. X can own a strip club. all
Mr.
I'm saying.
X could own a strip club.
He could own a social media website.
Yeah,
and
definitely
become
could
a
name
puppet
it X.
president.
Mr. X would be.
Do
a
you
great
think that
site.
Mr. X could become president in the streets of or puppet president? He
Puppet
doesn't
president?
actually become
Yeah, that
president.
makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that.
puppeting the president.
100%. The only other thing too I noted that was stupid and was very 90s. This game won a lot of awards. My favorite, I think, though, Rachel, was Electronic Gaming Monthly. Gave it the award for Hottest Video Game Babe in 1993.
That's Blaze.
That's Blaze, all right. Blaze, you can get it. Give me a call.
The cop undercover is a whore. Yep, that's what's happening right there.
Okay, first of all, she is called a Lady of the Night. Thank you very much.
She is undercover as a streetwalker.
Do you think that's what she's supposed to look like?
Isn't that what she's doing?
I don't know.
I swore that had to be what she was doing. She's a cop, and she has a tube top and mini skirt on.
I thought she was just dressed
or is she clubbing?
in like her fighting outfit.
Maybe she's
But
clubbing.
maybe you're right.
I thought she was undercover cop.
I have a feeling that that's correct. That makes a lot more sense.
I would assume. Otherwise, she's going to the club and then ended up getting, distracted, I guess. She has a couple occupations, apparently.
She's a ballet instructor or something, right?
Yeah, dance instructor.
This is okay. So like her page, wiki page, just takes you right back to Streets of Wage. Can we play Streets of Wage?
That's what we're doing.
I guess that's probably what we sounded like. I want to play Streets of Wage so that I can hit people with the pipe. She's a physically attractive woman.
The first one doesn't say anything besides that she's a cop. The second one says that a year after the events of the first game, Blaze, who has moved out of the city and became a dance teacher, discovers along with Axel and Adam's kid brother Skate that Adam has been kidnapped by Mr. X. So I think she's just a dance instructor and that's just her outfit.
Well, she quit the force.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, that's fine. I'll allow it.
I
I'll
always
allow it.
thought she was undercover cop. And that's why she
She
had
is.
the outfit on.
In the first one, they're like cops that are like. We'll get to it.
Well, I guess,
We should start.
You
Let's
know
get
what,
right
you're
into it.
right,
Okay.
you're right.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Shelf Life, a podcast where a brother and sister team always know to get out of the way when someone is swinging a pipe in your general vicinity.
Yes, and to hold down the up button and mash A and B together so you can land on your feet.
That's right. If someone throws you in the air. Everyone can do that, Rachel.
Everyone.
People just don't know that because most people aren't thrown in the air. But if you're ever thrown in the air, you just press your A and B button together.
Yeah, you'll
be
fine.
fine. I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there for everyone right now. I have a bad cold as we record this episode.
Kevin's nasally.
Probably the next episode. So if I sound bad or I don't have my usual energy, deal with it. Rachel.
Yes.
Today we have come to a point in the show where we are talking about a very special subject, near and dear to our hearts for several reasons we'll get into. What is up for contention to the shelf today?
I think this is the first time that we're doing the second or like the next of something before
we
the
are
first.
Skipping the first one.
And we are going to be talking about Streets of Rage 2, the video game.
That's right. For the Sega Genesis.
That's right.
For those of you that are longtime listeners, you will recall that Rachel and I grew up in a Sega Genesis household.
Yep.
So this is, of course, one of the games that we had for the Sega Genesis. Rachel, this is our second Sega Genesis game. Or third, I guess, technically. We did Sonic and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
And it's our third video game. All from the same little bunch of our nostalgic era brain. Because we also did Doom as the main event for Volume 3. Go back and check the back catalog for that, folks. Rachel, please to explain your history with Streets of Rage 2 and what happens. What is this game? What is the genre of game? What happens in Streets of Rage 2?
Okay. Streets of Rage 2 is a side-scrolling fighting game.
A beat-em-up.
It is a beat-em-up. And
my favorite genre of video game, by the way. I love beat-em-ups.
Beat-em-ups are fun.
Yeah, they're just fun.
Yes.
Like, you get it, especially this one. We'll talk about how we played it, but you get another person or a few people, and you just go through and you just start beating people up, just pressing the buttons, going through, trying to beat the bosses, all that stuff. Loads of fun. Anyway, sorry, continue.
No, it's fine. Because for me, I don't remember I'm not going to be able to recall the first time we've played this. You might be able to, but I can't. I know that this is one that we constantly
because Rachel was a baby
I was
when we got
tiny, and I was still playing
literally
video games.
a baby. Literally a baby.
You could shove a controller or a keyboard in my hand, and I would probably play it. But
that's fine.
I know this is one that we always come back to and play constantly, and we've beaten it. We've played it for different holidays and events, or just like whenever we're like in town together, whatever, what have you. And it's just one that it's hard to kind of stay away from, which is really like funny. And we started off playing it only on the Sega Genesis, and now, of course, luckily, we have it on other machines as well, where they gave us like the games. Yeah, so that actually makes it a lot easier for us to be able to play it more.
How we came to have Streets of Rage, this was the part of the Sega Genesis purchase in 92 or 93. I don't remember if it came with it, if it was like part of the bundle, or Dad just picked it up.
Either way.
I thought it was.
Kind of makes sense that it would be a part of the bundle. I could see this being a bundle.
It doesn't say it was, but regardless, when we opened up, Dad and I opened up the Sega Genesis back in the day, the games that were in there were Sonic the Hedgehog and Streets of Rage 2. So those were the first two console video games that I had. Totally appropriate for like a 5-year-old.
Of course.
And like you said, Rachel, I would spend hours playing this with Dad, when you got older with you, with your godfather, our uncle, with my friend, like my best friend growing up. We would play Streets of Rage 2 constantly. Because it's that kind of game where like there is no save. You just have to sit there and you have to spend an entire afternoon just going through it.
Exactly.
So a lot of hours spent on that. And then for some reason, I think because Dad then, in his PS3 era, bought the Sega Classics disc, which had like a bunch of old Sega Genesis games on it. So we were like floating through and they had all the Streets of Rages. So we were like, well, we got to play it. And he got it like around Christmas, or like when we would have been around for Christmas. So we played it. And then that became like a semi-annual tradition. Like we don't do it every year, I don't think. But like once every couple of years we'll be like, gotta go play Streets of Rage.
Right.
You gotta beat Streets of Rage.
Exactly. It feels like a Streets of Rage moment, and then you're like, yeah, it's either in the summer or it's like around New Year's, between Christmas and New Year's.
So this, I would say, has some nostalgia for us and some like modern day looks too, where we do play it nowadays as well. Rachel, any thoughts or ideas about what happens in the game, like what the game would be about, what you would say this game is about.
Okay, it's about a group of cops, I guess. Like, here's like the cop friends and kid brother of person who is kidnapped, and you have to get through all of these bad guys to get to said friend and save him from main boss Mr. X.
Mr. X.
It's Mr. X, right?
Yeah, it's Mr.
Okay,
X.
I thought
it feels like it shouldn't
like,
just be
Dr.
Mr.
X?
X, but that's all it is. No, it feels like it could be, but it's just Mr. X. This is a sequel to a beat-em-up game that they came out with for the Sega Genesis, and that is the premise. You're the characters from the first one. We're the two main characters, the cops, or the undercover cops, as you kind of put it, Rachel, that were now they're off the force. They find out a year after the events of Streets of Rage that the third cop, or former cop, has been kidnapped by the Syndicate, by Mr. X's Syndicate. And then they have to go save him. And they bring along Adam, the third cop's younger brother, Skate, and Axel's friend and professional wrestler, Max. That's the plot.
That's the plot. Now go have fun.
And they go through this town. Oh, what is the Wood Oak City? Is that what it's called? I always thought that it was like almost like Oakland. Like it just felt like it was like a California city. I always got that vibe from it. I don't know why.
I could kind of see that. Some big
More
city
so than,
that
like,
feels
a New
more like
York.
a warm area of some sort. Could be Florida.
Yeah.
Could be a Florida place.
Could be a Florida place. Well, there are like palm trees and stuff, and then you go on a ship
So maybe California makes
to
more
a
sense.
jungle.
Yeah, okay.
So it could be Florida. I don't know.
Somewhere warm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's somewhere warm. It has to be. Blaze is walking around with nothing on except for a tube top and a mini skirt. It's got to be somewhat warm. Max doesn't have a shirt on. Skate's wearing shorts. They're all ill-equipped if the weather were to turn. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
The way that they decided to come about with this is that they had this game in Japan called Bare Knuckle. It came out in the US under the name Streets of Rage. And the second game begins with a man named Yuzo Koshiro. Yuzo Koshiro, if you notice when you start up the game, is the composer of the game. He was a music composer, but he was also super into game coding. He was like interested in game coding,
sure,
so
yeah.
he did compose stuff for Sega. But then he wanted to get into like some of this other stuff with the game coding, and they realized, or they thought, that they were going to have to compete or at least try to get Street Fighter 2. So for those of you that are, I cannot imagine somebody doesn't know when I say Street Fighter 2. Like, you know what a Street Fighter is.
Right.
June Diane Raphael knows what a Street Fighter is. It's a callback to a 15-year-old podcast from How Did This Get Made? But Street Fighter 2, or Street Fighter, was a arcade game that they were trying to figure out how they could get something as smooth and a fighting game onto either the 8-bit or the Mega Drive, which is the Genesis. They ended up losing out to Nintendo.
Right.
Capcom went with Nintendo to develop the Street Fighter 2 on the Nintendo, and they thought that, like, shit, now we have to figure out how we can get our own version of this. Enter Yuzo Koshiro, who was very ambitious. He had his own, like, freelance company called Ancient. He was very excited about the idea of, like, coding something based on Street Fighter and coming up with Bare Knuckle 2, or Streets of Rage 2. So then he's coding it based off of Street Fighter. So he's taking like the basis of Street Fighter and he's trying to figure out like all the mechanics and how this stuff works and how they can improve on it using like the Streets of Rage.
That makes sense.
Because he had developed Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit. Like that was like their first thing they did for Sega. So then they were entrusted to be able to do this. They need to design the thing because he can figure out the mechanics, but they need to design the thing. So he brings in his sister. So actually, Rachel, this is very appropriate for us because this is a brother and sister video game.
Let's go. Brother and sister video game team with the podcast team.
Ayano Koshiro, his Yuzo's sister, served as the lead graphic designer, and she planned the game and designed it, and she designed all of the graphics, characters, the combat mechanics, how stuff would look if you threw somebody in the air and that kind of thing. And then Yuzo and his team would like code it and everything.
That's awesome.
The design and everything, I think, is one of those things that elevates the game, especially over the first one. There's shadows, there's lights, there's crispness to a lot of the detail.
Interesting. Yeah.
We tried playing the first one, and we didn't enjoy it very much. It's fine, but you can tell it's so much older. It feels like it's on a completely different like system than Streets of Rage 2.
It does feel that
and
way.
Streets of Rage 3 to me felt clunky. This feels like the smoothest one to me. I mean, I have nothing against Streets of Rage 3. It just was not. It was never as good as Streets of Rage 2 in my mind, or it was never as fun to play. So they decide that they're going to like design the game this way. Yuzo, of course, is going to make the soundtrack for the game, and he brings in Motohiro Kawashima. And the two of them, that they became kind of like entranced by the idea of adding techno music to the game, which of course is like what we're talking about. So they went to the clubs and they would listen to the techno music, and they incorporated that into the games to give it like a nightclub feel. So that's how we end up with Streets of Rage 2. Comes out in 1992. It's one of the top selling video games of the year. In Japan, it was the top selling video game. In Europe, it was the third best selling video game between 1992 and all of 1993, or almost all of, or early 1993, just below Super Mario Kart and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It comes out to rave reviews, and people really enjoy it. They say it's a lot of fun. I've seen stuff that says that the game is too easy. I don't know how people could say that unless you're like a super gamer that knows the mechanics and you have like the hand-eye coordination down.
That's got to be who's complaining.
I mean, we play it
on hard.
Tried to play the first one. We play it on hard, and we've tried to play the first one, and I would say the first one is harder.
Yes,
but it's because I always thought it's because it's like a little clunkier. It's not as smooth as one of the other games. They added in the first game, if you remember, Rachel, they had a police, like you'd press the special button and a police escort would like come in.
Yes.
And it would like shoot like something weird at you, like or at the enemies. It would like shoot like rockets at the enemies.
Yeah, it was very weird. It was like a drive-by. They did like a weird drive-by thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. They got rid of that. Instead, that they made a few more like things that you can do, and we'll talk about like all the different things the guys can do. But for you and I, we always play as Axel and Blaze.
That's right.
Because Blaze is the girl.
Yep. That was always
Axel
my choice.
is the most well-rounded. I think Dad.
Blaze is also supposed to be an all-around character.
Yeah, she's a pretty much all-around character too. Dad, I feel like always played as Max.
I think so.
And then my friend always played as Skate. I can kind of remember that. So he was like the fast one. And the idea behind having all four of these characters was that like they got rid of Adam because they were like, Adam is the same as Axel. Let's get like new characters that play differently.
Sure.
So now you have a big brute and then a speedy guy. So now you can pick and choose how you want to play the game. But it does very, very well and is very well received. And people say that it is a lot of fun at the time when it comes out. Of course, it's been redone time and time again. It led to sequels. Rachel, have you ever played Streets of Rage 4?
No. I was just looking at that too because I was just like, the art on the front looks way more anime.
It's very anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
I think
feels
they
a lot
kept
more
a lot
like
of the
Street
mechanics.
Fighter.
Yeah, I think they kept a lot of the mechanics, but it looks a lot more anime than the second one and third one. I don't know if I like that or not, but it's like you have to upgrade it if you're going to come out with the game in 2020. It can't look like the same thing as 1990.
Sure. I guess it makes sense. Yeah. But I've never played that one. That one's new to me.
Yeah, I'm interested what that one is like. But as much success as this game has had, and as beloved as it is, we need to go through it, Rachel. Stage by stage. Boss by boss. Which those are the terms that they use. That's why I always thought that like every video game, like
all video games use bosses, right?
That's true though. Like beat 'em ups that we would play. We had the Power Rangers beat 'em up. We had the Turtles beat 'em up. This beat 'em up. What other beat 'em ups did we have? I would call like Ultimate Alliance a beat 'em up.
Yeah, a lot of the like
not the same, but
superhero
like that.
Yeah.
X-Men. There was an X-Men beat 'em up. The Simpsons arcade game was beat 'em up. Just lovely games. So we're going to go through all the boss battles, each stage. We're going to talk about them. Yeah. And the enemies, the minions.
They're the minions of the boss. What do you want from me?
Yeah, that's true. And the plot of the game. And we are going to find out whether or not it has shelf life. Coming up after the break, we will walk through Streets of Rage 2.
Young Bobby Engels has a problem. He needs to earn the respect of his peers. So he gets the special Sega Genesis fighting system. It comes with Streets of Rage 2. He saves $40. He gets more moves. He gets more control. Now things are pretty much okay.
I said chocolate chip. Say it. Say it.
And we're back with another walkthrough here of Volume 5 of Shelf Life. This time we are going through the 1993 Sega Genesis game Streets of Rage 2. Rachel, this is an exciting time. I was going to make this. I told Rachel I wanted this to be a main event. And she was like, why don't we just put it in like a spot of prominence, like a Volume 5 type of thing?
I mean,
instead.
it could have been the main event, but it's like our main event.
Yes, that was your argument. You were like, it's not the world's main event. It's our main event. It's our main
Which,
event
I mean,
now.
then for Shelf Life, it is a main event, because this is ours.
Every episode is a main event.
That's also true.
Damn it. we love every episode equally.
Wait until the volume of main events. We're going to have one.
That's right. Like 2027 or whenever we said we'll do that. You know what, though? Before we start, I think it's time to play a little game. Let me just say,
no.
Name that bad guy. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, Rachel, I thought that we had fun when we did Doom last year, and we made you go through and say who you thought all of the bad guys were in Doom.
Yes.
So, there's a lot. There's a lot of
Okay.
enemies. I thought.
Are we going to do this
Let me
per
count them. 1, 2,
stage,
3,
or are we
4,
going to
5,
do
6,
this?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's just do it now. There's 16
Great.
listed.
Okay.
Different types of enemies. I don't think we have to go through all 16. But we should go through the bosses
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm not going to go through these in any particular order.
Oh, great. I was hoping
All
that
right,
it would
so
be
I'm
in
going-
order so that I could be like, I know this one.
I'm going to give you the name, and you have to tell me a description of what this enemy looks like.
Okay.
Rachel, are you prepared?
No, go on.
Okay.
I have not studied for this at all. I'm ready.
Okay, perfect. That's how you have to do it. Big Ben.
Is that the baseball playing guy with like that breathes fire and laughs like
Yes, that is the evil umpire. Big Ben. There's a bunch of them. Big Go, Heart, Balloon, Bongo, Gormand. The names in this are all funny
horrible
because
and
it's
great.
it's Japanese people translating it for English.
Yes.
And then they're using terms that like they think are fun or funny. And so then some of this stuff gets mistranslated and it's pretty hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan.
Okay, Donovan. The Donovans are the shirtless guys with the sunglasses that do
That's
uppercuts
right.
all the time and drive me nuts. Yeah, I know the
Correct.
Donovans.
That's right. He sometimes will carry pipes or stuff. Yeah, they
Yeah,
do the
that's true.
uppercuts. When you go in the air, they can hit you with the uppercuts. They're common.
They are.
Hakuyo.
Is that the actual like true ninja guy who comes and going, yeah?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct.
The one with the ponytail.
Yeah, who up until Rachel and I played this to like get ready for Shelf Life, and I always thought he was wearing a beret.
I
never
I
thought that
never
was
knew
a-
he thought that.
a
It's so
ponytail.
weird.
You can see it in her artwork. You can see that it is a braid, but it just looks like
It
to
looks
me
like a
it looks
toupee
like
almost.
I think it looks like a hat. I don't know.
Alright, well,
I'm an idiot. What
There
do
you
want from me?
go.
Yeah, and they act like real like.
Oh, they like smack
kung fu
you.
fighters.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can like crouch and hit you and stuff. It's annoying.
Barbin.
The wrestler? No, wait.
No.
No. The first one. It's the first guy with the vest and the
Come
puffy
on.
pants. Yeah. That one, right?
Yeah, the barback. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Or
got
the
like the puffy
bartender.
he's got like puffy pants and a vest on and like short hair.
And he's the first boss. And then and then there's like two more like come in, a guy named Wayne that looks exactly like him, and then
Right.
another one.
Yeah, they usually change the coloring a little bit, like of the skin and the clothing.
Let's see. Can I get Rachel with any of these?
I'm trying.
Galcia.
No, Galcia is just the one with like the red hair and like the jean jacket.
Yeah,
That's jean jacket
he's
guy. That is the most common
yeah, they're
of
the
them.
pawns.
Yeah.
They're the pawns. This one I don't think you might get.
Okay.
Eagle.
And
like all the rest of the names are all birds.
It's the ones that ride the motorcycles. The one with like the spiny stuff and no. Dang it! Which one is that? Do I get it? I don't know.
This is the Muay Thai fighters, who we always thought were kickboxers.
Oh.
Or when you were little, you referred to them as basketball players.
You're not allowed to say that. We're cutting that out because I don't want people
When
get
you were
mad at
little,
me.
you didn't know better.
They had basketball shorts on.
Yeah, they'd have basketball shorts on. I'm not
Yes.
saying
So
it's a
wait,
bad
what are
thing.
they then? What do they call them?
They're Muay Thai fighters.
Oh, is because of like the tape and stuff. So
Yeah,
is
yeah.
it close to like
So they do
Krav
Muay
Maga
Thai.
stuff? Is it like
Yeah, that kind of idea.
like kick your ass and kill you?
Well, and they were a pain in the ass.
Oh my god!
I watched a walkthrough, Rachel,
the kicks
where they were clearly like using like all the tricks they knew in the book, and apparently if you just hold on to them, like if you just grab them,
Well, yeah.
they won't let go. So like they would just hold them, and then the other one would like take care of like the other two guys, and then they would just like shift the one guy over to. That's cheating. That's not fun. That's just getting through the game.
As fun. We had our own little tricks.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, we do. We'll talk about our tricks. All right, 2 more. I'll do. Let's do 2 or 3 more. Okay, here we are. Rider.
I don't know. I don't want to go obvious and say the ones on the motorcycle again. But I don't recognize that one.
It is the one on the motorcycle.
Oh, it is. Okay, so it's very obvious. The riders.
Rider.
Those guys have like the spiky
Honey Rider.
football. It's not Honey Rider. These guys are.
Yeah, she's going to. I've dealt with this kind before. Honey Riders.
These guys.
What is wrong with me?
Are bikers wearing football pads that are spiky and very
Right.
colorful.
Yes.
And you gotta be.
And
You
they're a
gotta
pain in
time
the
it
ass.
right.
Yeah, because they're on the motorcycles and shit.
Right.
Abadede.
Ooh, I like recognize. I can see it at the top of the screen, but I can't see who it is. Is it the ones with the long coats and the mohawks?
No.
Dang it. Is it the robots? Dang it. Okay, what is it? Oh, it's the wrestler.
It's a wrestler, yeah.
Oh, I don't know why I didn't think that was his name.
I don't know why his name is Abadede. I wish I could figure out why his name is Abadede. Like, what did they want it to be?
Yeah, I really
And
want to know.
how did it end up being
'cause that's a
Abadede?
weird translation. Abadede.
Abadede.
Abs.
He looks like the Ultimate Warrior.
He does look like the Ultimate
That's
Warrior. He
like-
is the Ultimate Warrior, honestly. Big
Yeah.
poofy hair, the shirtless, wrestling pants, the works.
All right, do you want any more of these?
Go ahead. I don't care. We can pick and choose.
Electra.
Oh, that one's easy. That's the woman with the whip that electrocutes
With the
you.
whip.
Long hair,
Yeah.
bodysuit looking number.
I guess I get it more in like the drawings of like what she's going for with like the bodysuit and the fishnets and stuff.
Is she a
'Cause she's-
dominatrix like looking thing?
I suppose so. Yeah. What is her role in the Syndicate exactly? What is she supposed to do?
It's a good question.
Is this part of the non-existent club that we invented?
Oh, maybe that's what it is, right?
It's gotta be. She works at the club.
Oh,
I mean, if it's not, that's my headcanon.
Apparently, this
here
says
we go.
she sings at the Barbans
Oh.
Barbans bar.
Yeah.
So she's a
okay.
singer,
She's like in charge of the female gang
right?
part of the Syndicate.
Is this also
too.
like a? What are those clubs called where they do the dances and stuff?
Or like a go-go or something
Not
like
a
that? Or like
go-go.
not like a showgirl club, like a... Oh my god, this is bothering me.
The one like in The Simpsons with the old woman, and they have the dancers and everybody.
Oh, a burlesque club?
burlesque. You think it's like burlesque?
Naturally, we brought it back to The Simpsons to figure that one out.
I couldn't think.
This is Shelf Life.
But that's kind of what I'm thinking,
she-
like maybe burlesque-esque. And then, like, all of the women who work there are also, like, in this gang.
Yeah, okay. I like that idea. And then Shiva.
Shiva's the guy at the, like, not the main boss, but the boss's right-hand man that you fight.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, that dude's, that one's tough.
Yeah, he was always hard. I feel like one of the tropes of a beat-em-up game is that, like, the second boss and the second to last boss are always, like, super hard. I
Yeah.
don't know why. Even in, like semi-modern games, like the Arkham games, like, the second boss was always, like, a pain in the ass. Like, you'd have to figure out the pattern and it would suck.
I got most of those. I felt proud of that one. That's fine.
So, yeah, there you go, Rachel. That was very good. Very good.
Thank you.
That was Name That Bad Guy. Name That Bad Guy.
Name that bad guy.
So let's get right into it. The first thing that you have to do is you have to pick your characters. All right. So anyway, I could do that all night.
You really could.
And I kind of want to. But with my cold, I would pass out. So Rachel, the 4 main characters that we can be, let's just go back and forth on them. Go ahead. Start with Blaze.
Okay. Blaze.
Blaze. Laser. Taser.
Do I have to describe her again? Red tube top.
No, you've
red
described
miniskirt,
her.
boots, long hair.
Well, I would describe
muscular.
like her fighting style. Like, what does she do?
She does jabs and kicks. I think she's most like a lot of the time she's like flip kicks and stuff like that are like her thing. Like her main move is like that flip kick spin move.
Yeah, so these all have very Asian names, so I'm not exactly sure what you would call them. But yeah, she does that flip kick backwards.
Yes.
She does like the Joyko.
Oh yeah, that too.
Out.
It's almost like I can't think of the character. There's a character.
Oh, like a yeah, like a
There's
it's
like
a
a
Street
character
Fighter
that
move.
like
Yeah,
that literally can like make energy come out
Sends
of her
the
hands.
energy. Yeah, I know what
Yeah.
we're talking about. People are furious because we can't come up with what the name is.
Ugh. It's one of those hard days where you can't come up with the names of anything.
It's because I have this cold. It's called
I'm
yeah,
just
what's
tired.
That?
Look.
Haruken or like Shuriken or like
Yeah, that's like what
Haruken,
she says. That is
something
like what
that.
she
Yeah.
says.
But yeah, she shoots that out. The specials on this game, all of them you can do, but if you do them, you lose a little bit of health.
Yeah, I don't do them often.
But they come in handy. They come in handy sometimes.
No, you do that. You do the thing where the energy
No.
comes out.
No, Blaze does. Axel does the wind up uppercut and it
Oh
starts
yeah,
on
right,
fire.
right. Yes, you do the fire uppercut. Yes.
Okay, so that's Blaze,
Right.
a ballet instructor. She was on the cops. She was on the police
Oh,
force.
I also like doing
and-
the move where you can crouch down and like swoop
You go on the
their
ground
legs.
and you do the spin kick.
Yeah,
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 that's a
yeah.
good one. That's if you're surrounded. That's the best one if you're surrounded.
Absolutely.
Because like Axel, getting to Axel, if there's somebody on the other side of you, he just goes and punches.
Yeah, he
does like a
punches
back
backwards.
fist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes it works, and sometimes there's like 5 guys and it doesn't do anything.
But what is Axel's main? What does he do?
Let's see. He is a white shirt, blue jeans. He's jacked as shit. It doesn't say
gloves.
what. He's got the fingerless. Are they fingerless, or does he have like boxing gloves on almost? Not boxing gloves, but he definitely has like fighting gloves on.
Aren't those
Oh,
technically
they are called fingerless. Yeah, they're fingerless.
Okay.
You're right.
Well, I just kind of assumed that those would also just be fingerless.
So he is at the beginning of this running a martial arts dojo and is like a bodyguard as well, and is part of this like discovering that Adam has been kidnapped, which sets off the events of the story. I like playing as him because he has those little jabs. He goes jab, jab,
Oh,
jab,
yeah,
jab, jab.
he's
Like
got
he
some
can jab really quickly.
Fast jabs.
One of the best parts about the game too, and they incorporated this because of Street Fighter, is the combos you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first game, if I remember correctly, you would punch and you have to keep pressing it to like punch or kick or whatever. In this game, you punch left, punch right, punch left, kick. Like it escalates and it gives you like combo moves.
Right.
And for those of you that are too young to have ever played like an arcade game on a console, you get points and there's multiple lives just like an arcade game. So like you rack up points through the combo moves. That was always fun too, to rack up the points.
Oh,
They
absolutely.
need to bring that back. I guess they kind of do that with your trophies that you get
Achievements
nowadays.
and
They're not
trophies,
as
I
fun.
feel, aren't the same. That's not the same as like racking up points for doing specific moves and stuff. It's different. But I
yeah, would agree.
understand. That is kind of like where they went with it.
And one of the things that he does is if you would press right B or right B, right? Yeah. He would go uppercut.
Yes.
But it sounded like Gapaka! And he would uppercut with like flames coming out. And that was always a great move to be able to use.
Oh,
as well.
absolutely.
And then his special was he'd wind up and he'd set his arm on fire somehow to be able to do I guess they just have total control of their bodies because they're all like masters of the martial arts.
I think
or
that's got to be
something.
what it is. Yeah, and like
There is a kangaroo
Blaze,
in the third one.
there really is a boxing kangaroo.
And you have to fight literal robots. So I guess we can't say that this
Okay,
is
fine.
a grounded game.
I mean, there's another
Rachel,
character that blows fire, so there's a lot of weird stuff that happens in this.
I base that off of the fact that
I assume that they just
he has
have.
a terrible diet.
That's
just
true.
an awful diet.
I kind of just assume he's like spitting
seen
alcohol
this
at
man?
you, like holding a flame. So he's got like a
There you go.
yeah.
There's some headcanon for you.
He's just
Rachel,
a heavy
another one
smoker
of-
and drinker. That's all.
Oh, I guarantee you Big Ben smokes. Like, it would have been great if one of these big fat umpire guys just keels over and has a heart
Like, he
attack
just keeps
before you
coughing.
can stop fighting him. I kind of wonder if they're supposed to be like Kingpin, where it's like it's all muscle. They're just built like a fucking brick house.
Oh my god. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it.
They've got the stuff on their lips where they can like blow fire. So they
Ooh,
like are
okay.
always like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's right. Rachel, can you name one of the other two characters, please?
So I don't know the other characters as well, but we can go with Skate,
Because we never play as them. Yeah, let's go with Skate.
with
Eddie
Skate.
Skate Hunter, Adam's little brother.
who's like a child. I'm assuming he's a child or he's like a little teen, like a preteen.
I think he's a teenager.
Right?
Yeah, he's a teen. I think he's a teenager.
He's on rollerblades, he's got his backwards hat, he's the cool one, you know?
Yeah,
And
he's a cool teenager.
He's quick. So like he's got those moves going for him that he's like fast.
Yeah, he was never. You'd have to hit guys a million times to kill anyone with
yeah,
Skate, but
'cause
he
he's
was
not as strong.
quick. So like the advantage that you'd have if you were Skate was you could like confuse them. Like you'd be able to like spin around enemies and stuff. That one thing that I remember him doing was he would get on their backs and he would like punch them.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then like a flying headbutt. I kind of remember him doing.
He like rolls around though, and like uses
Yeah,
the blades.
A lot of
and
rolling.
Stuff.
Doesn't he do like a thing where he would like, and I don't remember if it was his special where he would like get into a ball and like roll.
Oh yeah, no that sounds very familiar. I could see that being one of his moves. He has a drilling strike. I think that's the one you're talking about. A corkscrew kick.
Hey, the corkscrew kick.
He does the cannonball. He propels himself forward like a ball, knocking enemies away. Inline rush. Performs a dash attack that launches enemies into the air. Yeah, so he's the dash one. I mean, of course he dashes. He's on rollerblades. He's gonna be a lot faster.
Right.
But he's the only one who can do that.
Yeah, the one where he would get on the head was the best move. He did a lot of headbutts.
You're right.
He must have had a very thick head.
I feel
and,
like he
a
just
flying headbutt
used
and
like
stuff.
everything that he had because he's so small.
Yes. That flying headbutt was a fun move, though. But I rarely played it as him because of the fact that, like, he was so small and quick. Like, I'm surprised you didn't, Rachel, because as we go through our
true.
journey on Shelf Life, you will find out that Rachel loves spazzy video game characters.
I like the fast characters that just like everywhere around. But I think I just gravitated toward the female character in this one. I was like, no, I want to
she's
be
a girl.
woman. Mm-hmm.
I'm girl power.
Yes, pretty much.
And then, last but not least, we have Max Thunder, a professional wrestler and friend of Axel. So
Big
he
dude.
decides that he's just going to help them, I guess. And I love the fact that there's a professional wrestler who is a good guy and a bad guy professional wrestler in this
That's
game.
true. There are two.
And it makes sense.
both
They're
sides. You
making
gotta
this in the
have a
early
heel.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have a heel. If they ever make a movie, which I hope they do, apparently Lionsgate owns the rights, but I doubt that they'll ever make it.
That would be very interesting.
But Max Hunter is a professional wrestler. He's this big brute of a guy. He doesn't wear a shirt. He's got a professional wrestling gear on, in fact.
Right.
And he's very slow moving, but he can take out the guys in like one fell swoop. So he does like a big like side punch thing. He twirls around with his fists. He does a drop kick. He does like a spaceball slide. And then his best moves were always like a power bomb and an atomic drop. He'd always be able to do like the atomic drop and stuff. So he did actual wrestling moves. And it makes sense because you're making this game in the early 90s if you're being influenced by stuff that's like hip of the day, which is professional wrestling, skating, techno music. Like, it's all, this game is so 90s. Like, it really is a window into 1993.
Now, the thing is, though, is any of the other characters can grab the characters, like the bad guys, and
true.
like
Yes.
throw them or like punch them into the ground and stuff like that too.
Yep.
But I feel like his main moves were like that. His were more powerful, of course, than anybody else's because he's stronger. He's just slower.
Yeah, his were stronger, and I always was like not a fan of playing as him because of how slow he was.
Mm-hmm.
But I do remember like it being helpful if Dad or someone was him, because he'd just be able to take care of so much stuff. It was like, you know, easy to have that guy be there and like beat somebody up. So let's get right into it, Rachel. This is Streets of Rage 2. The game begins by you see a piece of paper, and it is showing you the Mr. X falling from the first game. It's like he's done. He's out of power. And I assume that he was in jail or something, or dead. But then it comes up with this
Maybe assumed
scroll.
dead.
Maybe assumed dead. And it tells you what's going on. And it says, the city that had been plagued with crime and violence was safe and peaceful. And then as it says this, these hands come over the city, these like purple hands to like show you evil. And it says, however, evil has once again cast its shadow over the city. And then there's like Mr. X, the Syndicate boss, believed destroyed by the 3 young vigilantes. So I assume they're talking about the Syndicate was destroyed by the 3 vigilantes, not Mr. X.
I think maybe
was
even
destroyed.
Mr. X himself.
He has come back to... Oh, it does say that.
Yeah.
He has come back to life, stronger than ever. Somehow, Mr. X has returned. Well, you didn't have to have that good of a logic for a video game. The hell with it.
We don't know. It's fine. It happened.
Yeah, whatever. Thirsty for revenge, he kidnaps Adam in an attempt to lure Axel and Blaze into a trap. And they fall for it, apparently, because they go out. And Axel and Blaze set out to help their faithful companion, joined by Axel's friend Max, a wrestler, and Adam's kid brother Skate. They're determined to save Adam and put Mr. X out of action. 4 young friends, rage burning inside them, make a stand for friendship and peace.
Yeah, let's go. Woo.
And then the start menu comes up, and you select your players, which is what we've been doing this entire time. That doodle 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 bam bum 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 bum. So Rachel and I would always play. We play on hard as adults, but there is hardest. I'm sure the hardcore gamers out there play on hardest.
Oh, sure.
And we would always increase it to 5 lives because you had to.
It was so much better that way. You could get through
I think it'd be
more
pretty tough.
and it's more fun.
It'd be pretty tough. So Rachel, let's begin this. One thing to point out too, I think one of the influences of this game has got to be The Warriors. Do you know that movie, The Warriors, Rachel?
Yes. I know which one you're talking about.
Don't you? Warriors! Where like it's all of the gangs in the city. Doesn't it feel
Street
like
Warriors.
that's kind of how all, because like all of these seem like sub gangs, like they're parts of Mr. X's syndicate, and they all have like territory or something like that, but they all work for him. He's like the kingpin.
Right.
To me, it always felt a little bit like that movie because it's clearly like all of these gangs are coming together.
Absolutely.
So the first level, Rachel, or the first stage, apologies. There are stages in this, and I think stages can have a couple of levels.
Right.
Can you please describe what it looks like on the screen for us in general on the normal, like no matter what the level is, and then do you want to talk about what this first stage looks like?
First of all, we have our overlay, which has up top the character that you're playing, their health bar, how many lives you have, and then how many points you have as well. And then what pops up underneath your character would be who you're fighting and who you're hitting, so you can see their health bar as well and how many more hits it is to kill them or take them out.
Right. Like a normal video game
Right.
nowadays, I would say, too. They still do this in most video games.
In the middle, we have a timer, because for each stage or each level of each stage, there is an amount of time you have to get through it.
Yeah, and if you don't get through it in that amount of time, then your health bar starts to go down.
Yes.
Which would happen to us on occasion as kids, for sure. The first stage begins, it's downtown, you're like on the streets of the city, and you're trying to... I always thought of it as you're trying to get information. I feel like the game's stages actually tell you a pretty clear story of what's going on.
It does
just
feel
by
that
what
way.
the stages are.
Right.
So the first stage is like you're almost like shaking down like the low level guys, and it always felt to me too like, well, we know the cops aren't going to do anything because they're corrupt and or they're afraid of the Syndicate. It's like martial law or something.
Yeah, they're just like
there's
hopping
probably,
right into it.
Yeah, there's just bad guys all over the place,
bit of
and you're just
vigilante
taking them
justice.
down. Absolutely. Axel and Blaze are definitely vigilantes. Rachel, one little note about Blaze here. Her high kick was censored in the United States.
Oh my god.
Because in the Japanese version,
They always
you
show
see her
underwear.
thong.
They always do that. What is with the showing of underwear?
Well, the Japanese have they like
They
their
still
underwear.
do that in like animes and stuff, and it's like, what are you doing? And I feel like it's
they
a
like
joke
their
at this
underwear.
point because there was one that we really like watching, and it was instead of like the female character seeing an upskirt, it was
Ooh.
the dwarf character who was wearing like almost like a skirtish kilt type of like thing, and so it was like his upskirt, and it was like a joke on the
Okay.
fact, So I'm like, I don't know if they're just being self-aware or just being silly about it in that show, but
Yeah. That's one of their things. But yeah, that was censored. And then I never knew this until I was watching walkthroughs of this just to make sure that I had everything down for the game. There is a hidden life, a one-up, at the very beginning by the mailbox at the bottom of the screen. And I never realized that. We like always missed that one.
at the mailbox?
Yeah.
Huh.
At the very, very start, there's a mailbox at the bottom left corner.
Yeah, I
And if
don't
you
think
go
we
over there,
ever
you can get
think
a plus
about
one.
it.
We never thought
That's
about that one.
hilarious.
I think we usually
No,
catch the rest, but we never caught that one.
That's true.
The detail in the design here, it's all about the detailing, is excellent.
Beautiful. We have a cobbled
The
street,
light,
right?
yeah.
We
The-
have
there's
lighting,
shadows.
shadows,
Yeah.
dark like black colors for shadows. We have neon lights going everywhere.
A foreground and a background. There's like stuff that
Yes.
sits in the foreground.
There's layers.
It's so good. Yes, there are many layers. It is like Shrek. This game like Shrek. So most of the guys that you fight in this part are Galcias, Donovans, and then the Signals, which we didn't talk about, which were the guys with the mohawks. They're like punks.
Yeah, they're like the punks
That
with
wear,
the long
like,
coats and stuff.
I don't quite. I think it's supposed to be punk, right? Like that's
I think
the.
so. It has
it's like
to
punk
be.
rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're wearing like skinny jeans and have the mohawk and everything.
I would expect to see like spiked bracelets and stuff on these guys and like chain necklaces and stuff. I don't know why, but that's what I'm thinking. I don't know what the symbol is supposed to be on their coat. Does it say? Because it kind of looks like a spider or something.
The drawing of the Signals, looking at it, it's a skull with wings. It's like a demon head skull with wings kind of thing.
Okay,
I
interesting.
don't know if that comes through in the graphics for this, but that's what it looks like
it looks
in
like
the
a
drawing.
blobby spider to me, but you know.
Yeah. This was one of those games, Rachel, that I would keep the manual and I would read the manual so that I knew the plot.
Oh yeah, they
That
need
was-
to bring back manuals. That was always so fun to read those and like see what the story
Well,
was and stuff.
Now video games have plot baked in. Like, there'd be cutscenes and shit. You wouldn't have to...
I guess, but sometimes I just want a fun manual, right? Look, I even had those for
Oh,
like my Sims games. Are we gonna do the Sims one day, Kevin?
Probably.
All right.
Yes. I don't know how... We're not going to walk through it. We're just going to discuss it.
Not
but yes.
really walk-throughable, but yes.
No. One of the things that happens to you as you go through this is that you encounter some of the different weapons that you see and then some of the different items. So, Rachel, let's talk about the weapons and items because we'll
Alright.
just get this out of the way now. There are 5 items. We talked about the +1. It's just a one-up like every other video game in this era had. You could always get a +1 life.
Of course.
Unless it's like Echo the Dolphin. I bet Echo the Dolphin had a fucking
There's
+1
gotta be.
somewhere.
I bet it's like some sort of fish or bubbles.
That took us like 25 years to figure out how to start that fucking
Yeah,
game.
how to like jump
That
the
game-
wall was the worst thing
That
ever.
game might be... fuck that game and fuck that dolphin.
Hot take
Somebody's
for
gonna
Kevin.
tell me, too.
Echo the
'Cause,
Dolphin
like,
doesn't have shelf
No,
life.
because most people probably just put it down and throw it and break the fucking cartridge. That game has like aliens in it and shit. It's like insane.
Remember there being a scene, and I don't know if we played this or I've just seen a clip of it, where Echo the Dolphin gets like jumps into space. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's like
Weird.
It's insane. Anyway, I don't know what that had to do with anything, but I needed to give. At some point, I need to talk about Echo the Dolphin, Rachel. I need it in posterity. There are 5 items that you can pick up, the +1, and then there's 2 points things that you can pick up.
Yes.
One is a money bag. It's 1,000 points.
And gold
One is
bars.
a gold bar. That's 5,000 points. And then there's 2 health refills that you can get. Now, Rachel, could you please tell me what you think those are?
So the one is a turkey. Okay, that's obvious.
According to
Is it not a turkey?
it is a chicken.
Okay, whatever. It
We
is
have always
some
called it a turkey.
roasted
Since
bird.
I was 5
Okay.
folks at home, since I was 5 years old, we called it a turkey.
We've
It's a
always
turkey.
said it was
Anyway,
a turkey. Fine.
Looks like a turkey.
It's chicken. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
a poultry.
It is bird. It is cooked bird. The other one,
And when you find that, it gives you full health.
yes. The other one looks a bit more obscure. It could be an apple. It could be a cake. It's red in color. What is that one?
I remember as a little kid thinking it was a fruit cake or a cake.
Yeah, it looks
It is just an apple.
It is an apple.
It's an apple.
Okay, because I'm like, it's like a cross between an apple and an angel food cake, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is
Looks like a cake.
this?
I agree.
Yeah. It's a little bit more obscure, but it's fine.
Those are the items that you can find. And then there's also weapons. The weapons that you can find on the stage 1, there's only a couple. One is the knife.
Yes.
The knife is Rachel's
Stabby.
enemy. Rachel's mortal enemy is this knife.
Well, why do you say that?
I always feel like you never liked the knife.
The
I always
knife
feel like
is
you always hated the
fine.
knife.
The knife is fine because it adds a little bit of extra stab when I'm punching.
Stabby.
The problem becomes when you have a knife and then all of a sudden you're standing atop a knife and then you try to stab somebody with the knife, but then you pick up the other knife and it just keeps going back and
Yes.
forth between picking up the other knife, and it's like, I don't want to
That's
do
the
that.
problem with all the weapons.
And then they all disappear because
Yes.
You
You can
I
drop
spastically
something
did
3
that.
times. Yes. And if it drops 3 times, then it disappears.
that was always the problem. And throwing those knives is kind of difficult because you have to hit the
Yeah,
buttons
I got pretty good at throwing those knives. You press B and C at the same time, you
Right.
chuck that knife at somebody.
But you got to be on the right level inside
Yes.
the screen, otherwise you'll hit each other.
That's what's so good about this game too, is like the depth of field that there is to the game. You can go up and down the screen, and I feel like there weren't a lot of games that you could do that with outside of your arcade games at the time.
Right.
And then the other one that you see in this level is the lead pipe, which was my favorite one
it's so
because of the noise
great.
that it made.
You
Max
get
is
a nice
specialty.
long weapon. That's always
Yeah,
great.
it's super long.
Absolutely.
You did not have to be standing anywhere near them for that thing to work. Max's specialty with the lead pipe was if he went back with it, because he would go back with it first and then forward.
Yes.
He could hit somebody behind him.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yeah, so that was a nice feature for Max. So we go through the streets. We're beating up people. There's people jumping out of manholes. It really is the Streets of Rage. Rachel, I think we just have to do the soundtrack a little bit for this first level
Just a
because it's
little.
called Go Straight.
It's great.
And it's perfect for this type of game. It is to me, it's the anthem of side-scrolling beat-em-up games because it's literally called Go Straight, and it is. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Perfect. It's one of my favorite pieces of music that's ever been orchestrated by humankind.
It's
It really
good.
is.
It's really good.
I kind of wonder if part of the success of this game is because of that fucking soundtrack.
I'll give it to
Like,
him.
it almost
I
has
think
to
it
be.
has to be.
Yeah.
Because it's just very enjoyable to listen to. You're not muting this and putting something else on. You're listening
No.
to this music.
You're listening to that music, and the sound effects and everything is. It really sucks you in. You could definitely see how, as two little kids, we would get obsessed with this and probably get
Yes.
yelled at by mom to like stop playing with dad, because the sounds and the sound effects and the style of play could become so addicting.
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
absolutely. Yeah, this would 100% be one of those games where we would be playing it, mom would yell for dinner, we'd pause it, keep it on, turn the TV
Yes.
off, eat, and then
That's
come
right.
back to it.
Yeah, save that energy. Yeah.
Right.
because you can't save it.
No.
So you just got to leave the system on and hope it doesn't overheat.
It doesn't overheat, it doesn't turn off, somebody doesn't turn it off.
So then you end up at the entrance of this bar, and you find the first mini-boss. One thing I thought was interesting, Rachel, and they kind of alluded to this in some of the stuff that I read about the making of the game, where there's a car parked there.
Yes.
And I wonder if in one of the iterations of this game it was supposed to back up into you.
Like in
Because I
Ninja
think
Turtles.
in the third, like in Ninja Turtles, and I just wonder if they weren't capable of doing it yet. Because in Ninja Turtles, in Ninja Turtle Hyperstone Heist, the Sega Genesis exclusive, it happens. And then I think in Streets of Rage 3 it happens. So I kind of wonder if it's there because it was supposed to do something.
And they wanted it to do something, but they were like, it's not, it doesn't look right or something like
can't
that.
get it to work.
So they didn't bother.
Yeah.
But it gets you because if you've played the other games before and then you come to this when you're like, does the car move? Like your instant thought is like, this car's going to back into me or something.
Mm-hmm. They apparently worked in tandem, so they would come up with a design or figure out like what they wanted to do, and then they would see if the designers thought that it was doable. Mm-hmm. So they would like be coming up with the designs like weekly, and then like going back and forth on like what's, is this going to work? Is this not going to work?
That makes sense.
So then the mini boss, Rachel, Jack.
His name is Jack.
Don't go Jack.
That's right.
Yeah. He is a
punk.
Like a biker punk?
Punk.
Yeah, he's another punk.
Yeah, spiky
Feels like
vest.
he could be in... It feels like he could be in charge of the signals.
I
like
feel
that
like
he
that.
could be like
he's like the
leader
signals
of
guys.
the signals.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that idea.
So his big thing is that he is a knifey, stabby guy, and he throws them at you.
He's a knives expert.
He comes at you quick with them, and you have to stop him from knifing you a million times.
Yeah, he does that like slash move.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that we have a do we have a cheat for this where we just punch him in the corner?
I think this one ends
Is he
up
one that
being
I can jab in the corner?
It's one where you kind of have to knock him down, get right into his face, and then just start punching the second he gets up.
That's right.
Before he can start stabbing again.
Axel's jab does him pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
Once you get past him, you go into the bar. And then this one also has that three-dimensional look to it. You can see poles. There's light that emits differently in different parts of the bar.
It's kind of like the lights
nice.
from the top aren't like that great, so they're more like spotlights.
But you just move your way through this bar, which has to be enormous. It's enormous because of how much fighting you do.
There
and
is
it's got
a lot
like
of
pool
fighting.
tables and shit.
Yeah. There's just sections. There's sections to this bar. There's the eating area. There's the drinking area.
That's right.
There's the
pool
lounge,
table. As we know, she's a singer,
exactly.
so there's a lounge.
It's like a lounge. I like that.
When you get to the end of this part of the level or the stage, you get to the bar where Electra is there. She's having a drink. And what did I say his name was? I always called him Baron. Barbin.
It's Barbin. Right? Yeah, I think that's what it says the name of the bar guy
Barbin.
is Barbin.
Yeah, Barbin. He sees you and he like runs off like away from the bar, and Electra tosses off her like shawl and starts to fight you. Electra, as you kind of described her, Rachel, has this whip which she electrocutes you with, hence the name Electra.
You. Yep.
This was another one where if I could just stand in the corner, I could jab her to death with Axel.
Oh yeah, it was the perfect way to do it. It was the absolute perfect way to do it. You didn't have to think about it too hard.
These first, I will say 3 levels, we pretty much could get through in like 15 minutes. And then it was just a matter of like, okay, how many lives do we have?
As long
because
as
we
you
could
had
judge
so
like
many, you can get through it.
Yeah, you could make it through the game.
Someone
if
will
you
make it
didn't,
through.
start over. Yeah. Once you're done with Electra, you make it to the back alley behind the bar, and that's where you fight Barbin. And then there's like other guys there. He rips off his like
cronies.
bar vest and goes, "Come on!"
Oh no, he doesn't do the raw. He does the.
No, he goes, "Come on," which is always great. He's got that spinning kick that he does.
Yes,
which is always a pain. This one, I don't remember if I think we would just like fight him back and forth a lot.
It would be a lot of back and forth with this guy. Yes.
Yeah.
It's whoever
and
can
have...
get the hit in, or if you can stop him from hitting the other person.
And he had henchmen all over the place, too. And the harder the difficulty, the more the henchmen.
Our trick with this was to hit the first garbage can, but stay far to the left, so that his little guys would come
out all the
for
henchmen.
You first.
Yeah.
Yes. That made it easier. See, we had our own tricks. We know what we were doing.
Yeah, so
when we play this now, we don't have to say a damned word to each other. We just do these things automatically.
Yep. We know who has to take out who. We just do it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end of stage 1 downtown, and we move on to stage 2, entitled Bridge Construction. I think of this as like, okay, now you're going over the bridge into like another downtown area, whatever you were able to find out from beating the shit out of Barbin.
Yes.
Now you're on this bridge that's under construction, and the Syndicate has made it so that there's like stuff in your way to try to like prevent you from being able to get across the bridge, as you do. This level introduces Rachel's favorite enemy, the riders.
This is, the motorcyclists. Mm-hmm.
I've
gotten better. I have gotten so much better. I used to be horrible at getting out of the way. So much better at it now.
Yeah. I mean, it was always a super fun piece of business to watch Rachel just go fucking nuts at getting hit with these. Because, like, at some points in the level...
you'll get hit multiple times. It's such a pain.
Because they come at you 2 different ways. In one way they come at you, they just come, like, across the screen. Mm-hmm. And, like, if you jump, you can kind of knock them off. And then they'll just keep coming across the screen. And then in another one, they'll go back and forth.
Yes.
And there'll be one, like, going left and one going right. And it's... And then sometimes... And the worst part about these guys, to me, is they do that run and punch.
Yes.
The like punch that is fucking annoying.
They always get that jab in. It's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Of course,
always
then,
knocking you over.
When they jump off their bike or if they get knocked off the bike explodes too. So you don't want to be near that when that happens.
That's right. Yes, the bike will explode. Did we explain
or they jump,
that you can...
Or they jump with their bikes. And then, of course, you're trying to hit the guy on the ground, but then the other one decides to fly through the air, and now you're getting sideswiped that way. It's obnoxious.
See, Rachel likes this one. This is her favorite level.
It's my favorite.
We explained that you can hit each other too, right? If you
I've said it, but I don't know if we've actually said, like, yes, you can hit your teammate.
Yeah.
You can outright beat each other up if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things to troll Rachel would be to grab Blaze from behind, because it would then look like Axel was feeling her up.
It looks like he's grabbing her boobs. Her arms up in the air.
He is grabbing her boobs.
Yes.
Yeah, and then she's like heaving, because her chest is always heaving in this suit.
It's very sexual.
You know what we never thought about, though, when we grabbed each other, is we should have just thrown the other person, because then we would just do the up
That's true.
thing, and you would be okay.
Well, you just jump away from each other. It's fine.
That's true. But I think the thing that would always get us more so would be if we accidentally threw somebody and they got thrown into somebody
I always felt so bad whenever I threw somebody at you.
That was a pain in the ass. Oops. So you make it to the end of this particular part of the level, and you go into a van of some kind. I don't know what's going on in this van. I think it's a van, but it's too big to be a van, so I have no idea what this is. But it's some sort of, like, trailer on the bridge.
It's like a semi-truck. It's huge on the inside.
And waiting for you there are those 2 kung fu guys, Hakuyo and Ryokuro. And I think if on hardest there might be a third. They fight you first. So it's like almost like a showdown. It's like a standoff because all the rider guys are like in the background cheering them on.
Yes.
To like beat you. And then once you get past them, then all the rider guys attack you immediately, and they like come at you like a swarm.
All of you. It's not going to be one at a time. This is everybody.
You had to time this right to be able to not have all of those guys fighting you, and like one of the kung fu guys left as well, because that would be just a pain in the ass. Because they come at you fierce.
Absolutely.
You go back to the bridge, and then this like you do like leave the car or the truck or whatever the hell you're on. It's April O'Neil's van, I think. It's just the turtle van.
This massive van. Yes.
Whoa! Looks like some shit's going down here in Oak City. Far out, man. Let's just hang out in the van.
Pretty much.
Oh man, we're being taken over by kung fu guys. I don't know why they became stoners that hang out on the van for this bit, but
it's fine. It's just Mikey.
I want a game where the Turtles meet the Streets of Rage characters.
I feel like
Shredder and Mr. X could get along.
I feel like that could absolutely happen.
I'd play that game.
I would also. Yes, I'd play the hell out of that game.
There's only so much that you have to go through in this part, and then you beat these little Garcia guys that are all in gray called Sugar, which I always wondered, is that supposed to be sugar? Like, where did sugar come from?
Yeah, that is...
Sugar.
Sometimes you just don't think about the names. You look at the names and you're just like, all right, that's a word, and then you just move on.
And you have to fight the second level boss here, Rachel, named Jet.
Jet. Oh, the guy with the
Aptly named.
jetpack. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
It would
he
make
has a
sense.
jetpack.
Yeah.
This is where it gets like, what the hell am I playing? Because it's like, why does this man have a jetpack?
He's a jetpack, his long flowing locks. He's got goggles and like the full suit going. And he flies at you.
He flies at you. He will like, he'll come down at you at an angle to like spike you, and he'll come straight across the screen. And then the worst one, because there's nothing you can do about it. As far as I know, maybe pressing the special helps. Folks at home, let me know, because I don't think we ever do it. He'll grab you, lift you up in the air, and smash you on the ground.
Yes.
And that takes a lot of health out of you.
It takes so much. But if he's doing that fly move across, you can do like your special, not your special, but like the minor special move that doesn't cost anything.
Well, as Axel, I would always try to do the straight up
Yes.
kick.
Yes.
You don't like because going out and doing the far kick could sometimes miss, but if you went straight up,
That
you
like
could-
knee, you like
that would
need
get
him.
him. Yeah, that
I
knee,
always
I
would
wanna
do the
knee
far
that
kick
fucker
for
in the
this one,
face.
but I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes you can get him on the ground too. If he comes low enough, you can punch him and stuff. But not the easiest guy, but you get through him okay.
Yeah.
I think that one is harder than Barbin for sure.
Yes.
And that is the end of bridge construction. Stage 3, Rachel. Any guesses what this one's called?
The carnival.
It's a carnival. Oh boy, a carnival. You're close. It's called amusement park.
Ah, it was close. All right. I figured it was a carnival or something like that. Because there's
I like
the
that-
rides and stuff in this one.
Yeah, it's got like a Disney castle in the
does!
background.
It does.
And they do a good job of detailing this too, because the castle changes where it's at sometimes. Like
Yes.
sometimes it's closer, sometimes it's farther away, to like give you an idea like you're moving
Through the
throughout the
park.
amusement park.
Yes.
And I like that it's an amusement park.
You can see like a roller coaster track.
There's a
and
roller coaster
carousel.
track. Yeah. It's different. It's and it tells you like the depths that the Syndicate has, where it's like they've taken over they've taken over Disney World.
Oh
Like
my God.
it's oh my god. So you fight your way through this
I do
amusement
like all
park.
the colors
It looks
in the background too.
it's a very blue level.
Yes.
This one. The mini boss that you have to fight here is Jack and Electra again.
Together. So this front part is like now it's 3 of the minions together. Luckily
Yes.
the riders aren't on motorcycles, but they are kind of a pain anyways because they like to grab you. At least they grabbed my character all the time.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
You gotta. If you're gonna die anyway, you may as well grab some chest.
Everybody's grabbing Blaze from behind so that she can get punched in the face.
Damn right. Oh yeah, that's right.
No.
Fuck yeah.
No.
I'm a reputable person, I swear.
It's characters. It's bits.
Yes.
It's fine.
Everyone should fucking know by now that it's bits.
Always.
Yeah. There's a disclaimer. I'm doing a bit.
Nothing's real.
Everything is fake. Everything is fake. You end up in the arcade. I like the little Easter egg that Bare Knuckle is there.
Yeah.
We
always
always
fun.
used to tease and break the arcade games by throwing people into them. That was
Yes.
always fun to do. Just like in the bar, you could throw guys into the tables and chairs and stuff. I'd throw them into the arcade games and things like that. Did Blaze ever throw people?
Yes, she would throw people.
She pretty much... Okay.
Yeah. She could throw
'Cause, like,
people
I said with-
behind. It's kind of like
Okay.
she like
Because like with...
oof behind her head.
Yeah, all right. Because with Max, it was always a power bomb, like I said, or an atomic drop. It was never like throwing somebody, and Skate, of course, didn't. So I was just curious, like, did they give her a throw? But yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
now
she
I
had
can
a
kind of
throw,
recall.
and I
like,
could even still
she
do,
goes like
the
on the
punch down,
ground,
too.
yeah, and like throws.
She
it,
like has
throws
to
them over.
squat and like use all of her force to throw them behind her. Yeah.
That's right.
She's strong. You look at her; she's extremely muscular. All right.
Oh, she's a built lady. She's a full figure gal. Yeah, she definitely is the best babe of 1993. That's for sure. When you get to the end of the arcade, there's a sign over this entrance that says Pirates. And you enter this corridor.
You pretty much are going like Pirates Cove over here.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yeah. It makes sense.
You go into a corridor. The most annoying fucking person in this game,
Galcia.
with that fucking knife.
Yes. He would like
'Cause
hunch
he-
over his knife like and then like wiggle his way across the screen.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Joseph, his name.
Oh, Joseph.
Yeah, pain in the ass, that guy. He'd almost always hit us. And I know that, like, experienced players probably have that timing down where, like, nothing happens
sure.
and you're, like, perfectly fine. But, like, if you're just playing for fun, like, that son of a bitch is going to hit
The
you.
thing is he doesn't go straight across most of the time. If he's on the bottom and you're at the top of the screen, he will angle himself across the screen. So he doesn't have to go in a straight line.
That's true.
So he was
That's
kind of
right.
a pain just because he will go straight for you.
That's right. Yeah, what a jerk. So once you get past those, then you end up into the next part of the level, or stage, which of course is a pirate ship. Which makes, I mean, come on, folks. Did you not think I was going to say that you fight on a pirate ship in this game? Oh wait, no. First you go through the barrel room.
Yes, the barrel room first, where you actually have to fight another. What's his name?
Kung Fu guy.
Yes.
Hiya!
Yes.
Like you called them the Hayas, I believe.
Well, because
as
that's
a
what
kid.
they would scream as they like jumped on top of you.
Yeah, you have to fight some of them. I do think that if you time it right, you can get them in a jab.
I think you
jab
could.
cycle.
I think you could.
If there's only one or two. If there's multiple, then it's harder because they'll like surround you.
Oh
but-
yeah, they team up then.
And then you end up on the pirate ship.
And this is where we get ninja pirates
Or pirate ninjas.
or pirate ninjas.
I didn't say their name, Rachel, and I probably should have. Do you want to know what they're called?
What are they
according to the
called?
wiki and the manual?
Yes, I do.
Ninjas.
Oh, okay.
Just ninjas.
Well, that's boring.
I like pirate ninjas.
I like
because
pirate
they're
ninjas
like
as well.
pirate ninjas.
You're on the pirate ship. This is where you're introduced. You have a long sword. All right?
And you're hanging off of the mast.
Yes. You're a pirate ninja.
You are a pirate ninja. I'm sorry. You're a pirate ninja. Embrace it. Rachel, your description of the pirate ninjas, because I know that you love these guys.
I do. They have full body suit.
Boom, shaka boom.
They do boom shaka boom. And they can do like this like swift back and forth when they do that. It's like they're evading your hits at that point.
Mhm.
They wear masks, like a full head mask with just their eyes showing, and then they have the long pirate sword. Or
Yes.
what do they call it?
Or a dagger.
It's not a dagger. Daggers are short. It's a long
No,
sword.
but like some of them, they can also have the dagger.
Oh yeah, they also
though.
have like the shurikens.
Is that what
The
that
throwing
is?
stars.
Oh, maybe you're right.
They have throwing stars.
Okay.
And they have the long swords katanas. The katanas.
Yes.
Yes.
I always thought that they were wearing some kind of...
Oh, they have like the scarf around their waist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that they were wearing like a scuba goggle or something.
Oh, it does kind of look like that. Okay, now I'm looking at him. I think so. It's a Batman mask. I kept thinking it was just the eyes showing, but the
Oh,
eyes
it's a
do
cowl.
have like a goggle
Yeah.
on it, and their mouths are showing. Oh, I had it
Yeah.
backwards.
I don't know what the actual intention is, but that's what it looks like anyway.
Absolutely.
So yes, these pirate guys, very quick. They can be fun to play against. Part of the fun of this, for me, is playing with other people and just watching somebody, like, go mad playing the game and, like, God damn it, that's always a lot of fun. These guys will definitely do that to you because they're quick.
They're very quick.
they're
yeah, either stabbing you with the
fighters.
little knife, the katana, the little throwing stars. They have a lot of weapons,
Question.
actually.
Question for you, Rachel.
Yes.
When you drop out of this pirate ship,
Yeah.
the next part is like you're in the another like street in the amusement park, and you fall from the sky. What's going on?
My
there?
assumption.
What is that?
My assumption
Okay.
is you go into like the pirate cove, you're inside of the ship, and then you're climbing up to the top, and now he just like
Okay.
jumps off the side of the ship, right? That
Okay.
has to be what it is. He's like walked the plank, pretty much.
Okay. So you think that this pirate ship is just kind of like chilling out in like a lake at this amusement park?
Yeah,
All right.
that's what I'm gonna
That's
say.
fine.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be in like a big building and it's not a real
Well,
pirate
it could
ship.
be a big building, but then like part of the building has like a pirate ship attachment, so it actually
Okay.
shows like the pirate ship.
Yeah.
That could also
This-
be it.
so there's a lot of immersion in this amusement park.
Of course.
They've got the Pirate Cove land. They have the Alien World.
Yeah,
There's an arcade.
it's very fun. I'd go here if it wasn't,
Oh, I would go there.
full of.
I would only
Syndicate
go there
people.
though if you could have like a like it's like a Westworld.
It's a
like-
full
like-
immersive Streets of Rage.
That's right.
Ooh,
That's right. Exactly.
That would be fun, actually.
That would be a lot of fun.
I'm down for that.
That would actually be a lot of fun.
Yes, please.
Like, that's what we should be going for. Like, folks.
That sounds really
that are,
cool.
like, robotics or whatever. Like, that's the next stage. It's not virtual. It's not like not like AR. It's real.
I want this
it's
to
with
be
robots.
Yes.
I want to hit Donovan with a pipe.
That would be so fun.
I want to throw a knife into Jack. Up this violence. I want real fake violence.
Westworld video game style, where it's like video games come to life. I'm down for this.
Yeah. Because they can't hurt you unless something goes wrong, like, you know, in
They become
Westworld,
sentient. Yeah.
where nothing could possibly go wrong.
Possibly go wrong.
Possibly go wrong. No. It's the first thing that's ever gone wrong. At this point, you have to fight again. Here we go again. Again. Jack and Electra.
Yes.
It's just Jack and Electra again. I don't think they even have different names. I think it is just
no,
Jack
I'm
and
pretty
Electra.
sure it is just them again. Oh wait, no, this one says it's El Lisa.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it is like one of her
because they have the
people.
same. Because they have the same look.
He's wearing
as Jack
green
and-
pants though. It's totally different person. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's right. That's right. He has a different color palette. On Hard and Hardest, there's a second Electra. It's one of her.
Yes.
One of her ladies. One of her mistresses.
In the one I'm watching, it's calling him Beano.
I saw a video that said that there's a reason for that. Like there's a soya.
Oh
and
my
Beano.
god, they're named after beans.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of funny. It's fine. You gotta
You
have
enter
fun with
this-
names, you know?
Yeah, they don't know any better, and half of these names are hilarious. Some of them they have that there are very Americanized names,
Oh,
but
yeah.
some of them are hilarious in their translation. You go into this, I assume, ride. I assume this is a ride.
Because it's like an alien mouth you're walking into.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure what this ride is. Do we want to guess
Is
on
it like
what
a
is going on
haunted
here?
House? Could it be like
That's
a
what I was
haunted
wondering.
house thing?
Is it like a alien encounter or something
It could
like
be.
that?
Maybe we are inside of the alien, or we found like its lair and we have to like destroy its eggs or something. I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Very strange. Very unsettling.
It's foggy.
It's foggy. It's
It's
green everywhere.
green, tentacly. You know.
Tentacly, yes. And the soundtrack is going like it's like it's making like the Gremlins noise.
It's very similar to that now that you say it. If you hit the blue egg things that you see, they blow up.
Yeah. That's where I was like, all right, this is either a very immersive game or they're trying to tell us that this is like a real alien, and I don't know if I can sanction that buffoonery. So I feel like it's got to
It's
be
immersive.
just part of the ride.
Yeah, you're like destroying things to make them blow up and help you, I think. I'm going to say that.
You find a sword at one point in this. You can slash the shit out of people with this sword.
Oh,
the
it's
sword, a
great.
very fun weapon.
I do
'cause
love
you can
that
also
one.
do it
It's faster than the pipe.
super fast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd go like it's crazy. You end up getting to what I assume is an animatronic head
Yes.
in this ride that I assume they're controlling from somewhere else, and that's how it's attacking
Oh, that would
you.
make sense. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah. It looks like a Doom character face, I would
Yeah,
say.
it's got it's got a big long neck, kind of a curved face. I don't even know how to describe this.
Horns?
Like a
It almost
Yeah.
looks like if you think of like Davy Jones' face with like the tentacles.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's got
But
it's got
horns also, yeah.
a squid face.
Yeah.
This thing is called the Heltis.
The Heltis.
I don't know.
All right.
The Heltis.
That's fine.
There's a drawing of it, and it just says over the top "real alien." But I don't
Oh,
think
come
that's-
on.
I don't think it's supposed to be.
That would be so goofy. Quote unquote real alien that bounces back and forth.
You know, I think it's supposed to be like an H.R. Geiger type of thing. I think it's like an alien, like alien, like a xenomorph.
Okay.
Like,
I could
think
see
that's
that.
like the look.
Yeah. The background stuff looks kind of like that too. I could see it. The weird thing it's coming out of now looks very questionable. I always have thought that.
The wiki calls it an animatronic. So maybe she originally intended for it to be a real alien, but it says it's an animatronic.
That's fair.
And that makes way more sense.
Yes. But you blow it up eventually.
You do blow it up. Yeah, you blow it up eventually, and that makes sense too. Like, it would be an animatronic, so you blow the thing up. Once you get past this thing, kicking it is like the best way to do it. Again, like the straight up kick.
Right.
And then its head falls off, and it looks like a vagina.
It just looks straight up like a vagina. Mm-hmm.
It's a vagina.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
vagina monster. Mm-hmm.
There's no mistake.
There's nothing else to say. It's very questionable.
No, there's nothing else to say. There's some more pirate ninjas. They've got a sword. If you can take that sword from them, you can use it.
Yes.
Against the 3rd level boss. Rachel, the 3rd level boss? Or 3rd stage boss?
Sabretooth.
Yes. I'm pretty sure since you were 3 years old, you called him Sabretooth.
It's Sabretooth. All right?
It's Zamza.
It's Danza.
He is Zamza. He looks like he's got Wolverine claws. He's got a mask on.
Right, long hair. He spins at you. He's clawing at you. And I always thought he was like Sabretooth.
Even the drawing looks a lot like Sabretooth.
Mm-hmm. But I think it's because he has like animatronic arms attachments. I think that's got to be what it is. And he's wearing like armor and stuff.
He's wearing armor for sure. He flips at you. He does like an attack. And this guy was the first one where I was like, okay, this is a little tough.
Mm-hmm.
As we got older, we learned how to beat him pretty
I think so.
Easily.
Right.
Like I said, the first 3 levels stages we fly through. And then we go to stage 4, the baseball stadium. So you're going through this entertainment district. So it kind of shows that Mr. X has his claws in like everything. You already know that he has his claws in like the police station and everything like that. But now he's like, I like to think of it as he owns this baseball team. He's just the corrupt owner.
I could totally see that. Absolutely. The great thing about this stage is you can see the amusement park you were just at in the background. You can see like the Ferris wheel and the
nice
roller
detail.
coaster and the castle.
That's a really nice detail.
Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like a park.
The part of this stage that I like is all of the background attempts at English translation.
Signage? Yeah.
Yes. In particular, I think Go Baseball Go is one of the signs.
And it's like boo.
It's like boo. They were ahead of their time, Rachel.
I love it so much.
People today would say it's like
it's
boo.
Like
and be like,
boo.
all right, that's just a Gen Alpha saying. I don't know.
It does kind of feel that way, yes.
You know, sometimes it's just like boo.
I think I'm just going to start saying that. It's just like boo, you know?
You go through this like park, like you said.
Yeah,
it's
trees,
like outside the
bushes,
baseball diamond.
Benches.
Yeah, you're fighting the typical guys, lead pipes and stuff. Another sign, Da Baseball.
Or do baseball? Is it do or da?
Oh no, you're right. It's do. It's an O. Do baseball.
Do baseball. Yeah. Do exclamation mark. Baseball.
That might be my favorite thing in the game. Do baseball.
It's so fun.
Once you get past the outside, you go and there's no health for a while.
Yeah,
in this
one is a long trek of just having to fight and not get hurt.
Yeah, we would always get sacrificed a little bit. Again, watching some of these walkthroughs, you people that like know how to get all 9 lives right away and then never lose one, you're insane. But I digress.
This isn't a spot that we'd lose it. Potentially with the actual Big Ben.
Could. No, you could. So you're like on the baseball diamond.
So.
You're fighting guys on the baseball diamond. And eventually,
at that point, yes.
You make your way to, or baseball field, not necessarily. You make your way to the diamond, but you're on the field. And even that background is kind of nice because it's like this big stadium.
Yeah,
that
you
you're
can see the
in.
stadium.
You end up at one point having to fight like a couple of Electras. Like,
that's
like
true.
3 of them.
That's true. That gets obnoxious.
Those ladies would always beat the shit out of us.
Oh, absolutely. The other Electra, by the way, is red with white hair. I want to make sure to give the great descriptions of these things.
That's right. And then
her name is Shug Q.
I thought it was Susie Q. Is it Sugar Q? Like Sugar Cube?
I think it's supposed to be like Sugar Cube.
Okay.
But I kind of like the idea of it being Susie Q as well. So either way is fine by me.
Sugar Cube works though because like Electra's like, I name all the ladies that come to the burlesque house.
Get over here, Sugar Cube.
You're gonna be named Sugar Cube.
I love it.
I brought Sugar Cube with me to the stadium. We're gonna take out these old vigilantes once and for all. Bring your whip, Sugar Cube.
I love the like southern drawl for her too. It's great.
There's no reason for her to have it except for
Absolutely.
the burlesque show from The Simpsons.
Oh, I
doing
like
the
it
Southern
though.
Belle.
That's perfect.
You end up on the on the pitching mound, and you encounter the next boss, mini boss for this particular stage, and that is, we've talked about him already. It's one of the best enemies in this game. They're corrupt umpires,
Yes,
right? Like
It
they're not
has
wearing
to
like
be.
the umpire mask, but like they look like umpires.
they do. They have umpire like they have a baseball cap. They have jeans and suspenders over a white T-shirt, and then they giggle.
They're big. They're big and fat. They're apparently Chinese, according to the wiki. Who knew? They are large, bald, obese men of Asian descent wearing
I
suspenders
would
and a
have
baseball
never
cap.
guessed that, but okay.
So there you go.
And then they blow fire at you.
Yeah, that's their like big thing. They can like jump at you, and their massive body.
Oh
weight
yeah,
just
they
takes you
belly
down.
flop. They belly
flop. They slap you.
Oh, the
That's my favorite
slap.
thing when they would slap you.
Oh my god. Sometimes you would like jump at them and then they just slap you. And it was like, all right, jeez. It was
that was
just
Rachel's
harsh.
favorite part. Yes.
That one was definitely a sit and jab. Sit and jab.
Sit and jab.
hopefully he
you
won't
could,
slap
you could
you.
jab them. You could definitely jab them to death.
Mhm.
That was definitely our usual repartee, was to just sit there and jab, 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 and take them down.
Right.
And then you learn how devious the Syndicate is, because the pitching mound is a secret trap door
Oh, it's so
to an
great.
elevator.
Yes.
I think every beat 'em up game needs to have at least one elevator level.
Elevator
This
levels
has
are
two.
fun.
Yeah. It's almost like you're like, okay, you're like halfway through the game, elevator level. And then in the last stage, they're like another elevator level.
But make it
This one
way
goes-
harder.
Way harder. You're going down the pitching mound into this tunnel, and you are fighting back and forth between the Kung Fu guys and then like your Garcia, your Donovans, those type.
Mhm.
They're just back and forth.
Oh yeah, and they're like jumping down into this. So my assumption
There is
like,
no health.
oh, there's nothing. You get nothing.
Our strategy on this was always like, you take one corner and I take another.
Absolutely.
And like we'll try to just like pull them into the sides so that you can like beat them up from the sides.
Right.
Wasn't always the easiest thing to do.
No.
But I always enjoyed this because it's like a summary of what you've been through so far.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like, let's see what like you've learned. Like, can you get through the waves of bad guys?
Yeah.
This is where I'd have to do a lot of like the spinning kick underneath to get them to stop surrounding me.
And then you make your way into an underground wrestling stadium. The background is all hillbillies because it's the early 90s, and we just make that assumption that anyone that likes wrestling is a hillbilly.
I kind of also
Fair.
assume some of them are Galcias and like those like the bad guys, because some
I-
of them have mohawks and like the jean jackets with the red hair.
That's fair. I think that's fair. They're more detailed than most of the characters
Yes.
that you would see just on the street. Rachel, we haven't done it yet. Can you please hum for me the boss theme? Because it is up there with one of like the Robotnik theme.
That one
Yeah,
sounds
what a
like
perfect.
sirens. Yeah, this was
Hang on,
this
now
is
I
so
gotta-
good.
Now I gotta listen to it.
But it was like the best way to know you're going into a boss battle.
Yeah, it's wonderful. So that happens every time that you're at the final boss for the level. These video games from back in the day all needed to have that.
It's very structured.
Yes, they needed to have that boss theme. That boss theme let you know shit was about to get real.
Absolutely.
And in the fighting pit, you end up fighting a professional wrestler by the name of Rachel. You learned it earlier.
Abba
you remember?
Abba
Abadade.
Abadade.
Abadade. I can't do it because of my throat, but Abadade. This guy sucked to fight. This is where I think having Max would be a great assistance.
Oh, yeah, you need,
I feel like Skate couldn't do shit against this
No,
guy.
because he wasn't strong enough.
If you start punching him, he does like a "Wah," and then he'll like
that
charge and like punch you and stuff.
It's kind of he's annoying, but doable. He does like to grab you and like suplex you.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of his big moves.
Mm-hmm. That guy is tough.
That's the one I
like
would
said,
spin and kick a lot, I think. To get him in a corner and do that was probably one of my easiest ways.
I think we'd have to do uppercut a lot on this one and stuff. Again, if you had Max, I think you go toe-to-toe with him.
I could see that.
So that would be a little better.
Mm-hmm.
It made me wonder if at some point this was supposed to be a, how to say it, like each boss, or like there were different bosses that represented the different characters, because like this is clearly like Max, the heel to Max's face.
Right.
Like he's a corrupt professional wrestler, but I don't think that you get anything like that. I don't see that being a...
It does feel like it should be, but yeah, I don't know if there is. I mean, I guess what Blaze would be against... Electra.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know who would...
Yeah, you're right. Like Shiva apparently was a friend of Axel's.
See, that I was gonna say it's gotta be Shiva and Axel, but then Skate.
Well, Skate's just the little brother.
Oh, I
so
guess
he's just
so. It would be
tagging
like someone for Adam, I guess, technically speaking. But
yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really work that way. I don't think that's what the point is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you finally make it past this guy, and he's hard as hell, you're at the end of stage 4, and you make it to stage 5. And now you know, or you've somehow found out, that you're trying to get to an island that has Mr. X on it, and like the Syndicate's headquarters is there.
yes,
And the best way to do that, Rachel, is cruise ship. You're like on a ship, like
Are
a
you on a ship?
like a freighter. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember now. All of a sudden, that like doesn't sound familiar.
This whole stage takes
Oh yeah,
place
like
on
so
a
you're
ship.
on a ship and you're a cruise ship.
Yeah, we always would call it a cruise ship. It's clearly like a freighter or something, but as little kids we didn't know.
Oh yeah, you are, because it like dips and stuff. That is
Yeah.
a ship.
You didn't realize that?
I don't know. Maybe I probably have known this, but like for some reason it wasn't clicking right now. It was like not clicking and remembering that.
I think what happens is you're a stowaway,
Oh,
and then
so
you're
you're
like
stowing away on one of their ships.
on like the bottom of the ship, and then
Right.
you're making your way to the poop deck. You're making your way to the top.
That makes sense.
Because like you're fighting up through the levels of this ship,
Of
and then they
course.
realize that you're there, so then they like take you on. Hart is here. He's another big fat umpire guy.
Yes,
He's the one that should have the heart attack because his name is Hart.
of course.
He should just keel over.
I like it. It would be kind of funny. Be a little twist.
After you get past him, this is where it elevates a little bit. And Rachel is saying that it shakes up and down. It moves like a ship in the water. So the screen literally goes up and down. I wonder if that ever gave anybody like motion sickness or anything like that.
I bet it could. I bet it could have.
Because like nowadays, I feel like because people are just glued to their screens and stuff, like there's no like stopping people from being like, oh yeah, like I should probably get away from this screen. But I kind of wonder if like these kind of games would do that to people.
Well,
like Dad would always kind of have to stop playing. after a while.
absolutely. I mean, even like going back and playing Doom, it was making me like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, the motion was a little bit harsher. So you're on the next level of the ship, and this is when we actually meet the other character that you were talking about that does another
That's
type
right.
of
Eagle.
fighting. Yes.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, Eagle, Raven, they're all like named after birds now that you're saying it.
You know, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm kind of wondering, do you hate these guys more than the riders?
Yes. Yeah. You think the riders are the worst for me. No, it was these guys. It was always these guys because they would just knee me in the face constantly. I hated it.
Yeah, they are. They're obnoxious, and they're very hard to take out because of the fact that they like go. Poof, poof, psh.
Yes.
Like they're very quick with the knees and stuff.
Oh my gosh. They had some combo moves that would just take you down.
You have to take out another Barabin after this. He's called Wayne. So Wayne is on here. He's another bartender apparently in the Syndicate. He's Barbin's twin brother.
That's what I was going to say.
Come on, I'll
Come
avenge you. Come on. And then Rachel, we get to the top of the ship on the poop deck.
Now we're
and
on the
this
ship.
is this part of the stage, this level is just a pain in the ass. So much is happening to you at this point. There's a couple of the jets, Mock, and I can't remember what the other one's name is. Those guys are coming at you. So you got to take them out. And of course they come with Donovans.
Of course.
Because those guys do the uppercut.
You're trying
so you can't,
to
jump.
And then when you jump, the Donovans just uppercut you. Oh, it is so frustrating.
If you are able to make it through that part, then there's a bunch of riders. And they're throwing grenades at you from the side of the ship into the hull. So you can't, go straight there either.
Right. You got to be balancing fighting and getting away from the bombs.
There's a bunch of pirate ninjas.
Oh my god, it just becomes like everything. They're throwing everybody at you at this point.
They throw everything at you. This level is actually very, very hard. And there's not a lot of health. So you probably end up, unless you're like a genius at Streets of Rage 2, you end up...
at least losing a life, right?
Yeah. You end up having to fight another umpire guy. This one's name is Balloon. And with him is... I think it's the hardest boss on the game.
This guy sucks. I can hear the sounds of his headbutts right now.
He's a big boxer. Do you remember this guy's name, Rachel?
Well, we used to call him the whale because it was like
the walrus.
Or the walrus,
yeah.
Because he was like, a sailor. So like water, but he's the bear, right?
Our bear.
Mm-hmm.
And I think his name, what is his legal name? Rocky Bear is his legal name.
There you go. He's got boxing gloves on.
He is a dirty boxer. So I assume this is like how Abadede is the heel wrestler for Mr. X. This is like a corrupt boxer as well.
Right. It makes sense to me. It does.
But he does headbutts. He'll grab you by the head and he'll headbutt you.
Oh my god, that's the worst part. You have to use a special or he takes out more of your health.
Yeah. He'll destroy you. Like, you're better off just doing that than letting him do the headbutt thing. It's a big pain in the ass, this guy. This is where I think we would always have trouble, and we'd always have to be like, on the Sega PlayStation game, we'd be like, do we want to save or do we want to go back and try it again?
Yeah,
because
it was
if
a
you
little
don't have enough
struggle.
lives.
Oh, because the other thing that he would do is he would jump and butt bomb you.
Yes.
Oh
the butt
man.
bomb.
Yeah, this guy was kind of a
fun.
pain. Because he had counters for your moves. So you kind of had a double team from either side. And then even then, it was just like, he's going to grab one of us. And we have to do our special just to get away.
Yeah, he was really hard to take down. And there's other guys there at the same time. This boss battle, very difficult. I don't really know if anybody has a strategy out there for it of what you would do to stop him with the different characters. I assume with Max you can do you can grab him, or you can do the swing around with the arms to get him. But with Axel and Blaze, there was some strategy involved of uppercut. You were doing the spin around thing. We'd have to be careful. You could grab him and you could do the trip up to him.
Yes.
Where you
yes, you do the spin trip.
Force him to the ground.
Right.
Yeah. But you'd end up losing a couple of lives because if you ever jump at him, he uppercuts your ass.
Right.
And that was the only way to avoid some of his big hits. But eventually,
you make it to the beach.
You get past him and you make it to the beach.
And then we see Honey Rider walking down. I'm sorry, no.
That's right. Honey Rider's here. What is this? I'm here to take down Dr. X. That's the new James Bond movie, Dr. X.
Versus Dr. No. I like that.
I'm going to shag Blaze Fielding. I might shag Axel as well. Max Thunder is one hefty man. Yeah, Honey Rider's on this beach. It's called Jungle. Jungle is the name of this.
So we make our way
stage.
to the jungle. Interesting.
Yeah, because you're clearly offshore somewhere in we don't know where we are, but this is
how long were we on that boat for? We have no idea.
Yeah, this is Mr. X's island. He's gonna try to, what the hell was the Dr. No plot? He's gonna try to disrupt
some sort of nuclear testing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know.
He's gonna blow up the moon.
Anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah, he's gonna blow up the moon. Mr. X is gonna blow up the moon. So we've made it to the beach. You fight some guys, you fight some pirate ninjas. I like the beach layout. It's probably very simple to do this one or simpler than some of the other details that they had to do because it's just the waves coming in.
Yeah, you have like the waves moving back and forth and then the actual like waves coming in and out. Lovely sunset happening. It's beautiful.
A lovely sunset. A lot of Muay Thai fighters coming at you.
Awful. Ninja pirates and Muay Thai. That's what's coming at you
Ninja
right
pirates,
now.
Muay Thai. Yeah, it's a difficult task to take these guys down.
This was another one of those spots where we're like, might have to start this one over.
Yeah, if you don't make it past the Muay Thai fighters with enough lives, you gotta start over. Once you get past them, then you walk onto this, what I assume is like this country road.
Yeah, there's like
it's
a
like
jungle
outside
road.
of the jungle. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you walk down it's like down a ramp. This like road is like on a hill.
Yeah, because it's angled. I do like it when they do
Yes.
the angled thing where you're kind of not just going to the right, you're going down right.
Yeah, it's not just go straight, it's go right and down. There's some Y signals, a lot of Y signals, a lot of riders.
A lot of riders.
Some
You hit
kung fu guys.
bags of, I'm assuming, sandbags and stuff to get your items on
Is
this
that what
one.
those are? I thought those were
I
just
don't know.
rocks.
No, they're like sandbags. They're very odd-shaped rocks, otherwise. They have a weird line in the middle of them.
Oh, they are sandbags.
Yeah.
Okay. Because is this again like they're trying to prevent you from coming in? Because if you look at the foreground, there's like barbed wire fencing.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Or maybe the bags of whatever is the stuff that they're smuggling, too. It could be.
Also possible.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we don't really know what Mr. X's crime syndicate does.
No.
Is it a Shredder's crime syndicate?
feels that
Are they
way to me.
smuggling cigarettes and technology?
Could be both.
I once had an island myself. It was enormous. Then I made a deal with this brain. That Mr. X is a phony. He doesn't even know ninjutsu. The Foot Clan could have been another part of the Syndicate.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been a rival game.
They absolutely could
See,
be.
we're just making Turtles versus
I like this now.
Streets of Rage.
That's right.
Or
Shredder
like
versus
you said, Rachel,
Mr. X, and then like we have to team up to fight them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Or it is a Dr. No situation and he's trying to blow up the moon.
Absolutely.
Also possible. There's more of the fat umpire guys, a ton of riders. This can get pretty difficult. They're flying at you on the motorcycles too again.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a lot of grenades and shit going on. So you like have to be always like jumping almost to like stay
You have to
away.
time like everything because then after like start flying at you with the bikes, more Electras come after you too. So now you have the bikes and then they're electrocuting you.
Yep. More of the mistresses. We're here to take out these damn vigilantes again. We were called into the island. That's a big pain. And then when you get to the end of this,
You get to
you
the end
end
of the
up
road.
you get to the end of the road, and there's like a road going down the middle back of the screen, like to give you like depth. And if you go far enough to the right, you see like this big tower. So like you're clearly going to
it's
this
like
big
this purple
tower.
thing
It's
in
like,
the background.
yeah, it's Mr. X's big tower in the background. There's no new boss for this one. It's just what's his name? It's just
Jet versus Wolf. What's his
and
name?
Zamza.
Zamza.
Sabretooth.
Yeah, Sabretooth.
Yeah, Zamza and Jet come in and you got to fight them again. I think Zamza's the real one. Like if you kill Zamza, I think Jet dies automatically. Sometimes they would do that where it was like
if you get
there's
one,
like a fake boss. Yeah, if you get one, you
takes
get
down
both.
the other.
They're
Yeah,
slightly
he
different
also
colored
has the
though.
star here. I forgot that there was a star next to his name. Is that why that is?
No, that's
Does that just
some
mean
of
how
the
difficult they
bosses-
are?
Yeah, some of the bosses are some of the mini bosses. This is a good point, Rachel. So you have a yellow life bar. Some of the bosses and some of the mini bosses will have blue life bars, and if they have a star next to it, and some of them have like 2 or 3 stars
That's
next to it,
right.
and that's just saying like they have that
How
many
many
like,
bars
lives.
you have to take down?
Yeah,
That
exactly.
makes sense. I forgot that's what that meant.
Yep, it's actually a different Zamza. He is in red this time. His name is
It looks
Soother.
pretty cool.
I like this one more than the Zamza outfit, I think. Except I'm not a big fan of those tan pants or whatever he's got on there.
Yeah, the tan pants kind of take away from it a little bit.
Just a bit. Once you make it past these guys, then you know that you're going into stage 7. And I guess this is where we find out what this Mr. X is up to. I guess this answers it, and he is more of a shredder type.
We have a factory.
He's making robots at his robot factory.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you right now, they're not better than my robots at my robot factory. Do you steal cigarettes too? Fucking copycat. Stage 7 is called Munitions Plant. Thank you, Rachel.
I had it next to me.
This is walking through the factory where they're apparently making robots.
Well,
and
I guess if it's called
weapons,
munitions, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, they're making weapons. Starts out with you fight some more Big Bens. Mm-hmm. This one's named Buffet.
Get it?
The other one's named Dante, I assume because he breathes fire.
That would make a lot of sense. That was the
reasoning for that.
The hard part of this is that there are these conveyor belts that you have to walk on that are going the opposite direction. So it kind of pushes you backwards.
Big pain in the butt. You have to like try to not get on that conveyor belt because it doesn't affect the guys that you're fighting. It just affects you.
And objects.
And objects will come towards you as well. Which, like, part of this, they're throwing grenades at you. So that becomes part of the problem as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the biggest, like, thing that you're facing. Not a lot of health. The health, like, seems to go down once you get past, like, level 5 or stage 5, really.
Right.
You fight a couple of ninja pirates, Electra
again.
A couple of
Electras, yeah.
I like that the Electras and the ninja pirates color-coded themselves, too.
Yes, it's lovely.
Because
you have some nice
like,
colors
some
going
of the
here.
Some of them are in the typical garb that you see, that like light blue, and then some of them are in dark blue.
Yes, like a dark blue blackish color, like a midnight blue.
A midnight blue. Very
so they
nice.
have a partnership, and they're wearing the same colors. It's pretty nice.
That's right. And then probably, if you can make it to this part of the game, this might be my favorite part of the game. This second elevator.
Yeah, the second one.
Because it's like utter chaos.
It really
I think that's why I
is.
like it. There are 2 chickens in they're turkeys in these silos. There's some
sort of bird to eat.
There are poultry in the silos. And this elevator is going to take you to like the roof of this building. But as it moves up, it always stops, and then like a bunch of guys come at you to get on and beat you up. And it's progressively, it's like you have to play the game again.
Yes.
So like it starts out with Exactly. There's Garcias, there's Jet comes in, there's Signals, like all of those guys. And then once you get past that, it moves, and then you get all of the ninja-based guys.
Yes.
The pirate ninjas, the kung fu guys,
all
they
together.
Come at you.
There's like a bunch of them.
It's a lot of fun. And then the riders and the Muay Thai guys come. And there's probably strategies for this, but it being a beat-em-up game, you just click the buttons. I think you and I would always try to come up with some way of, like, can we isolate them? Can you go over here?
If we can get them in a group together, you could do, like, the uppercut thing, and I could do the spin, and then we could kind of, like, mush them together.
You gotta mush them together.
Because you can hit multiples at a time. Mm-hmm. That was always the best thing to do.
Well, because there's not a lot of room on this. So, like I said, it's just utter chaos. And if you, like, grab them and, like, try to throw them, like, this is where we would end up, like, throwing them into each other and stuff, too, a lot. Great part of the game.
You even get another Jack, too.
Another Jack. This is Soya. A couple of more of the umpire guys. It really is just like, all right, do it all again.
Just do it.
And in fact, there's a third elevator too, and that elevator is harder. This elevator, I think, is my favorite one because it is just chaos because there's so many guys. Mm-hmm. And then Rachel,
this is the most ridiculous thing.
Can you please explain the bosses for stage 7?
So you get to the top of the building here, and you have to fight 2 boss things called Particle and Molecule.
That's right.
They are robots.
Yes.
They are humanoid
they are
robots.
Honest to God robots.
With spike arms that, like, what is that called? The big spike ball on a
what is that called? They just call it a spiked ball, but I was thinking what you're thinking too. Taking the mace.
Oh, it's a mace. That's what it is. So it's like their arms are maces because they're like the spike ball arms, but then they come out and they like swing them at you. And then their heads, they can shoot laser beams out of their faces.
They shoot freaking laser beams out of their heads.
And then they just jump from like side to side constantly.
You can't really grab them, they'll electrocute you.
Yes.
They shoot knives out of their heads too. I think it's knives. I don't know if it's laser beams because you can pick those things up.
Oh, so maybe it is like knives that come out. That
they
kind
shoot
of makes
freaking
sense.
knives out of their heads. And they jump and they hop around.
Yes,
like
it's the jumping
God.
that would always get us because it's like, oh my god, I'm just trying to hit you, but you keep jumping away.
God, like everything after stage 4, just a huge pain in the butt. All these bosses, but that's part of the challenge, and the game should get harder the longer you play it. It should be like this big, fight these guys to the death, and there's just a million of them because
Absolutely.
you're taking on the entire syndicate.
Becomes a huge battle.
I think the strategy I would always take with this was throwing the knives at them because they couldn't
Yes.
stop you if you threw the knives.
Throw the knives, and
You
then
could
when
also
they
jump
squat
at them.
down, you can jump to get missed and everything.
to grab them.
Yeah.
Because if you got too close before that, they would just bring out their mace arms and they would just knock you with them. And the sound that it would make when you would get knocked was like dong. Once you take those guys out, the score gets very quiet.
Oh, it's
For
so
stage 8.
creepy. It's like a weird, like ominous quiet. Too quiet.
A little too raff. This is called the Syndicate Stronghold.
It's like the suite at the top of the building.
Yeah, you're like at the top of the building, and it's like this penthouse or something.
It feels
right?
like it. But then I forgot there is that other elevator. But I
There's
guess
another elevator, so it like goes up even
that's
higher.
the penthouse. I don't know.
Maybe it's built like a skyscraper with like multiple levels.
This is
so
like the
you went up
business
to like
section.
yeah, you're at like level 50, and you need to get to like level 80. So you got to get on another elevator to go up to the next level.
Right.
There's another fucking robot and Bear Jr., who looks about the same age as Bear. So I don't know why he is Bear Jr. I'm gonna do you proud, Pop.
I guess. Maybe they are kind of far in age but look identical.
It's possible. It's very possible. Another big thing with a lot of these beat 'em up video games from the early 90s was a boss gauntlet, where you have to go through all the bosses you've already beaten one more time.
Oh yeah.
And that's what
just
happens to you
constantly.
if you're able to get past Bear Jr. and the other robot. You go on this elevator. It's so small. There's nowhere to move on this elevator. And they throw everything at you. People start just coming down.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I would call the boss gauntlet. First you face Barbin, except he's like way tougher to take down now. He's got way more health
Yes.
to be able to fight. But I think that we could do the punch, jab,
This
jab,
it wasn't
jab, and we
too
could
bad.
take that guy out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's another Zamza. This one is wearing like
Blue.
midnight blue.
It's so
Looks like a fucking
pretty.
Detroit lion.
Love it.
Yeah, I always like the midnight blue look. That's a great look.
It's so good.
When the Lions wear their jerseys that are black with the midnight blue helmets,
fancy.
excellent look. Very fancy. And then you gotta face the fucking wrestler again.
Yes.
There's
The
no
wrestler,
health.
it's like the wrestler with one of the other fighter guys, and it's just like
Yeah.
both of them together is ridiculous. Because in between all of these,
this
you're
is
getting
where-
the waves of the little underlings at the same time.
This is where when people would say that they thought that the game was too easy, I respectfully disagree. This is a difficult thing to do.
It is.
Now, for you kids that have grown up with extremely involved video games, I'm sure you're like, this is a baby's toy or whatever. But you know what? Fuck you. Read a book.
That's right.
Sorry.
Go read some Animal Farm and then listen to our podcast.
That's right. Yes. You probably should read Animal Farm.
Exactly.
So yeah, because I guarantee you have thoughts if you are bothered by us talking about Streets of Rage. The wrestler guy, big pain in the ass. It's the Ultimate Warrior again. Once you get past him, Rachel, you get to the top.
You get to the office.
There's some Galcias that you got to take down, some Donovans. Mr. X, can you describe how he's sitting in this particular end battle, this boss battle?
Well, he's acting like he's on a throne. He's got he looks bored because he's like leaning on his arm. He's got his legs crossed. Like, you're not going to be able to defeat me. And
he's got deer heads up.
Oh yeah.
Thought that was an
Massive.
interesting touch.
Mm-hmm. Big windows. It's actually a really nice. You got a lot of windows.
It's a nice,
really nice.
It's a nice office. Yeah.
The sun is
Next to
rising
him.
at this point.
The sun is rising, so you've been fighting through the munitions factory all night to get here.
Yes.
And to his right, or I'm sorry, to his left, is that guy hasn't done anything yet. And you know it's going to be good.
And
it's just this ninja-esque character standing there. This is your mini-boss.
Yes.
Before you get to fight Mr. X. His name is Shiva. Now, I always thought that Shiva was, like, more of a girl's name.
Well,
but I could be
Shiva
wrong, 'cause I always
is a
thought, like,
goddess, isn't she? Like,
that's what I thought. Like, it's like a thing. Shiva in this, though, according to his biography...
Oh, I guess Shiva is both male and female, so...
Oh, well, there you go.
That works out, then.
He is the rival-turned-friend Axel Stone, of Axel. He has gigantic muscles.
Oh, yeah. Gigantic.
He comes back in Streets of Rage 3, apparently, as well. And in Streets of Rage 4, so he's in all of these, he's a stoic man with few words, and he wants to be left alone and stuff like that. Shiva loves, according to the extras menu in Streets of Rage 4, I love this, so I'm saying it.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Shiva loves animals and will frontally oppose any form of animal abuse.
Oh, so that's why he does what he does. It makes sense.
So is he like... Wait, do you think Axel and Blaze are like beaten puppies?
No, I'm just saying, like, maybe he wanted to take down some sort of, animal abuse thing, but he did it in the wrong way, and so Axel's like, you can't do that, And so now they fight about it.
The way that this wiki reads, it's more like he's like an anti-hero or something.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, he's trying to do the right thing, but the wrong way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with him being a recurring character that kind of does that. It's just you don't really get that in this Sega Genesis game. He just looks like this hired gun by Mr. X. He is super fast. I love that Mr. X sitting on the chair just kind of goes, like, tells him to, like, all right, go.
Yes.
Like it's your turn.
Just
And you have to fight Shiva. Now, one of the things I always thought as a little kid, Rachel, was that those aren't muscles that you're seeing from his chest, his traps. I thought it was a woman named Shiva, and that was her cleavage.
It works either way.
Well, because he's so
very chesty
sticking
and
out.
Prominent. Yeah, it's kind of booby. It's a little booby.
Yeah, it's very booby. Yeah, it's booby. Mini boss Shiva, who is Axel's rival / friend / anti-hero / hired muscle, little chesty. I don't remember what the strategy would be to take this guy out, other than, like, we would hop around, we would do the uppercut thing.
You just kind of got to use all you've got at this point.
You got to use your special if he grabs you.
Mm-hmm. Depending on what he's doing, you have to have a counter for it.
Once you take him down, it comes the big boss. The very end of this. The music is great, again, for this Mr. X battle. He brings out the biggest machine gun you've ever seen. No, that's too big. He himself is not that bad.
No.
Wherever he ends up, he swings the gun around and, like, shoots bullets.
Yeah, like in a circle.
Willy-nilly. Like, he'll take out his own guys. He doesn't fucking care.
No.
Because he's just like, I gotta get rid of these fuckers.
Right.
But other than that, and him, like, kind of hitting you with the butt of the gun if you get in too close at the wrong time, he isn't too bad to take out. Like, you can swing him. You can punch him. He isn't as hard as Shiva.
But he has, like, his henchmen also.
Yes.
Which is supposed
I think
to make
that what
it
we would
harder.
do is, like, one of us would take out the henchman and one of us would try to take out Mr. X.
Yes. And if
that
we had
was always
to flip
the gimmick. That's right. Mr. X, if you die, Mr. X just holds the gun straight up in the air and goes, ah, ha, 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 ah, ha, 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 like the Joker.
It's great.
My favorite, though, and once you are able to dispose of Mr. X, he takes this long, slow motion leap into the air no matter how you hit him. He goes, roar, and, like, bullets fly out of the gun, and there's, like, a big thud on the ground. Like, he's, like, the biggest guy you've ever seen. And that is the end of the last stage, and you've won the game if you've made it past this point. There is a ending. Do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do. Do-do-do, ba-da-ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba. You find Adam. You take him out of his cage.
Yeah, he's, like, chained to a wall.
He's chained to a wall. It would have been nice, like, in a future game if they, like, redid this for today. Like, you'd split off. Like, somebody would have to go get Adam, and then you'd, like, he'd bring him into the fight or something like that.
Or he's chained in the room so you can see him, and so you can actually,
Yes.
like, unchain him while you're fighting.
Yes. He would be chained in the room.
And then you can actually
like,
use
one
him
of
to
your
help.
objectives would be to unchain him. Yeah. Skate and Adam embrace. Axel helps him off. Max gives a big thumbs up.
Like, yeah.
And then in a very corny last shot, Skate is on Adam's shoulders. They're all looking at the sunrise.
It's the
And
sunrise.
I've always wondered, like, so what are they doing here? Because there's like a helicopter's coming in, I guess, to pick them up and arrest Mr. X and like all the henchmen.
That would be my assumption.
It almost feels like there has to be some sort of backstory where they told like a good cop, like, we have to take him out, and they're like, we can't take
It's
him
like
out.
they
He's
went
too
to
powerful.
the
And they, like,
commissioner or something.
yeah, called them like cowards or something, and then they're like, it's one of those where they show up at the end to save them or whatever.
Right. It's like, well, we can't actually go and fight, but if you take him down, we'll come get you and arrest him.
And that is the end of Streets of Rage 2. Went through most of it there. We talked about the different levels. We talked about all the stuff that you can do. Rachel, now that we have walked through Streets of Rage 2, it is that time of the show where I will pass it over to you. Does Streets of Rage 2 have shelf life?
Short answer, yes. I love this game. It's a great beat 'em up game. It's so much fun. I love all like the sound, the visuals is fantastic. The music is great.
Entrancing. Mm-hmm.
You do, though. You get very into the game, and you're fighting, and you have all these different fight moves that you can use, and there's a lot going on, so you have more strategy that you actually have to do with this game without just having to mash buttons. You are also trying to use some strategy to get through it together. I find it great. I think it's a lot of fun, and even if it ends up being a, short game or it's a little easy, it's still so much fun just to play.
Right. The walkthroughs are all like an hour on YouTube to watch them. Obviously, that's people that are kind of pros at these old video games going through them. I would say it takes, like, if you just picked it up with someone to play, it would probably take you a few hours to get through, I would guess. I would say that this one is a good one.
Especially if you're playing on
with
like
a person.
hard and stuff too.
Absolutely. We talked about this as if it was a multiplayer game because for you and I, that's the only way to play this. There's obviously, you can play this by yourself. You can do a single player version. I think that this, though, is so fun to play with someone else.
Yes.
And like having other people in the room too. It's a fun game.
It's a fun
and at the end of the
couch
day,
game. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fun, we're all sitting there, we're eating pizza. It's E.T. The E.T. house could have been playing Streets of Rage instead of Dungeons & Dragons. Like, that's the environment that, like, I picture in my head. Like, they're fucking just having a great fucking Friday night, just playing Streets of Rage with each other.
Absolutely.
They're passing the controller off, they're picking different players, all that kind of stuff. The detail of this game, the gameplay, the enemies, the difficulty for us holds up. I know for some it probably doesn't, but for us it does. It does take time to get through this, and no matter what, like, we always are like strategizing with each other. We're having fun, getting killed and stuff. This is one of the best games of all time, in my opinion. I love this game, just like you. It's
definitely a favorite.
It's just fun. Like, it's crazy to think of, like, 30 years have passed, and it's like, this is such a fun game that it absolutely holds up. It absolutely does have shelf life. It's just a lot of fun to play. Yeah. And you can still go back to it no matter what. Yes. I think that Rachel, we'll be in our 80s.
We'll be
playing
people.
Streets of Rage 2.
Absolutely.
We're going to have to figure out how to play it at that point.
We'll remember what buttons to mash to stay upright and everything. It's going to be great.
We always joke with Dad when Dad says he gets old, just give him a controller and a TV and he'll figure it out. This is one of those games I think that you could put on for all of us. Like, if we get old and we get senile, you just give me a controller, you give me Streets of Rage, and I will remember everything about this one.
Absolutely. Muscle memory on that.
So that was Streets of Rage 2 for the Sega Genesis.
Sega!
Cross that off the list. It is on the shelf. Rachel, are we going to do any more of the Streets of Rage games? We're definitely going to do more beat-em-ups. I think we're going to have to do more beat-em-ups.
We might have to try them. But beat-em-ups in general, I think we'll be definitely doing.
A lot of fun with the beat 'em ups. Bring beat 'em hashtag bring beat 'em ups back.
Bring back beat 'em ups.
Hashtag more beat 'em ups. Yes, bring back beat 'em ups. They're great. Great games. So with that being said, I've been Axel.
And I've been Blaze.
And this has been Shelf Life. Remember, kids, I can't think of anything.
If you get them in the corner and you jab at a right timing, you can get through it a lot faster.
Remember, kids, we want that Westworld-esque theme park,
yeah.
so I can jab somebody in the corner for 10 minutes straight.
I like it.
We'll see you next time.